Alright. Let's get this show on the road. We're back. We're here. It's time for some more of whatever the hell's going on here. Whatever this stuff is. Larry in the background doing his thing. Hopefully not causing any more trouble. Hopefully. I think we should hopefully be nearing the end of this episode. I feel like we've been in it for a while. The test results have just come in, sir. Traces of ubiquium were found in the teapot. They were? Just like Mr. Edgeworth said. Curse you! You better not think this means you beat me. You really need to drop this obsession with coming in first, Mr. Winner. We're all on the same side here, remember? We're all trying to get to the truth. And then here comes Judge Gavelle saying, nuh-uh. What? But first is best. Everyone knows it's better to be a winner than a loser. That's really no way for a prosecutor to think. Not a successful one, anyway. But Enough. Mr. Edgeworth, please refrain from taunting the boy. He just makes it so easy. He's such a little prick. It's so easy to taunt him. Ignore him, Eustace. He isn't worthy of your attention. Ignore the fact that he's been a star prosecutor for 7 years, and you were 10 when he started. Shush, that part's not important. But Gavelle... Oh, alright. Why don't I take care of things here for now? In the meantime, you can perform the far more important task of going and checking on the victim. Yeah! Good idea. I'll be right back. Excellent. We shall see you shortly, then. You are quite ruthless and good at handling him. Mr. Winner's annoying, but totally harmless. Judge Gavelle, on the other hand... Now... Miss Bound, perhaps you could explain why traces of ubiquium were found in your teapot. I had no idea there was anything like that in there. Perhaps it's one of the ingredients in the dishwashing soap I use? So you are telling the court that you did not intentionally put ubiquium in the teapot? Yes, exactly. Why would I? Until today, I had no idea that it could even be used to make poison gas. You're a trained actress, are you not, Miss Bound? I'd have thought you would be a more convincing liar. What do you mean? You have access to the ultimate cookbook, correct? A book that just happens to contain instructions on how to create the poison gas used in the attack. Meaning it's perfectly possible for you to know exactly how to make it. You're very well informed, Mr. Edgeworth. There we go. Miss Bound, is what Mr. Edgeworth said true? The book does contain information on how to make the poison gas, yes. But the fact that I have seen it doesn't make me guilty. But it does make you a liar. And makes you a goddamn liar. Can I ask exactly how the gas was triggered? The victim used a blowtorch to heat the lid of one of the display cases, thereby melting the ubiquium. I see. But he locked himself in the room too, didn't he? Surely that and the fact that he triggered it himself, wouldn't it point to it being a suicide attempt? So she's not willing to admit to anything, because of course she's not. Fine. Furthermore, where would I have gotten hold of the Infesticide Ultra? No, I don't know. Perhaps you stole it. Hold on. I always have to remember her voice. This little British lady. Well, you know, I did bump into Miss Moody Judy a week or so ago. And that very evening, I noticed my Infesticide Ultra had gone missing. Judy, surely you didn't. To be sure. You carry your bag of pharmaceuticals with you everywhere, don't you? There would have been any number of opportunities for someone other than myself to steal from you. Oh, that's true, and I don't have any hard evidence that it definitely was Miss Bound who stole it. Jude, there's clearly something you're not telling us. Why don't you just come clean, We all know you never hurt somebody for no reason, so... Not you two. You think I'm guilty as well, Mr. Fender? Can you blame me? We got one wing disguised as another. A gas trap in one of the display cases. And you're the proprietor of the establishment. It's looking a lot like you did it, kiddo. You've got this all wrong. Age 36? And how old is Judy? 34? Kiddo? She's literally 2 years younger than you. Does that make her kiddo? You have to remember, the gallery doesn't have any security cameras nor any security personnel, which is stupid. If some ill-intentioned person or other wanted to get in undetected, I don't think they'd have much of a problem. Wow, you're practically asking to be burglarized. You need to be more careful. Great Thief could have a field day in here. And I don't think she's joking. And actually, it seems that Mr. Gusto did in fact enter the gallery before it opened. Sheesh. Judy's one tough cookie. She's not budging an inch. Maybe it's time to rock a little technique Gregory taught me back in the day. And what technique might that be? So hear me out. Everything's connected to what happened 18 years back, yeah? And since we're not getting anywhere by focusing only on the here and now, maybe we ought to approach this from a different angle and look to the past for clues instead. A turnabout in thinking! So my father used this method as well. Alright, let's run through the old Thinkatron. How was Jude's evolved and what happened back then? According to Miss Bound, it was because of her that Mr. Frost-flavored ice sculptures melted, and yet his sculptures are here on display at this very gallery today. Is it possible that she... Thank you, Fender. I think I know what I need to ask Miss Bound now. Don't thank me. Thank you, Pops. Now take it away, Mozzie. I'll grab the popcorn. Aren't you supposed to be like the head attorney here? We're already done with that whole attorney assistant business. You're in charge here now, buddy. Miss Bound, you say that you were the one who caused Mr. Frost's creations to melt 18 years ago, correct? And I'm afraid so. I was young and foolish, and it was a terrible accident. And yet, what you did allowed you to open this exhibit, no? What do you mean? Yes, what do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth? If you are going to ask such questions, perhaps a formal testimony from Miss Bound might be best. Yes, perhaps it might. I'd like to know a little more about Zodiac Hall, and about why Miss Bound decided to dedicate this space to Mr. Frost's works. Very well. If you believe it to be relevant to the case, I will allow it. Miss Bound, would you mind? Not at all. I'll do whatever it takes to prove that I'm innocent. Then please, if you could give us some background on Zodiac Hall and the pieces on display here. I just realized that feels like a bit of hypocrisy. Whenever people say, I'll do whatever it takes to prove my innocence, like, okay, why do they get to say that, but I can't say that without people thinking I'm falsifying evidence? Fuck you. If I say that, people think that I'm doing something illegal. If everyone else says that, they're like, okay, sure, I believe you. You do whatever you want. You can. Not whatever you want, whatever you can. Difference. It took 18 years, but at long last, I was finally able to buy Samson's home back a little while ago. But a place like this is expensive to maintain, so I decided to turn it into an art gallery. To that end, I collected as many Paul Halik pieces as I could from around the world. Because, if I'm all honest, it's always been something of a dream of mine to open a space dedicated to his work. Thank you for your testimony, Miss Bound. How wonderful it is that you were able to fulfill your dream, and that I am taking everything you say at 100% face value. Well, Mr. Edgeworth, everything seems entirely above board to me. Judge Gavel, that was simply the witness's preliminary statement. As you surely know, the value of that testimony cannot be evaluated without due cross-examination. Spoken like a true attorney. Very well. You may do what you must. You may continue with your rebuttal, or your cross-examination, whatever you want to call it.
Hold it!
18 years. You must have gone through a lot to buy it back, Miss Bound. And this home, this place, such memories abound. I couldn't stand to lose what I had found. Dance, 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 move. Samson, I did what I had to do to see that home was waiting here for you. How does she make it look so easy? I'll say, but I wouldn't expect any less from a trained triple threat performer. If you could continue with your testimony, Miss Bound, minus the singing, if you please. Oh, alright, you're no fun.
Hold it!
You managed the gallery by yourself, Miss Bound. Yes, well, we only opened today, so I haven't done much actual managing yet, but I have to keep the mansion going. Can't have it fall down around my ears. Seriously could come home any day, after all. So she really got the house back for him. Oh, so sorry, Judy. I wish I could have done more. Oh, you've done plenty, Mr. Fender. If anyone should have done more to me. Even if the only thing I can do right now is to keep this place safe for Samson. Samson. I keep saying Samson. Is that technically correct? It's that inn I collected, blah, blah, blah. Paul Halik. Oh, that was Mr. Frost's pseudonym, correct? Yes, he adopted it while he was working as a sculptor in France. I see. I'm curious about some of the pieces in your collection. More specifically, how you were able to acquire the Taurus and Gemini sculptures. It was my understanding that Mr. Frost died before he could complete them. Yes, I was able to create replicas for the Winter Wing based on photos of the sculptures he made. Really? Perhaps you could go into some more detail on that. If I'm honest, it's always been something of a dream of mine to open a space to. It was for the Winter Wing based on photos of the sculptures he made.
Hold it!
These photos you mentioned, you mean the ones you yourself took in Mr. Frost's room 18 years ago? Yes, you certainly know a lot about what happened back then, Mr. Edgeworth. So those statues in the Winter Wing were just copies? I didn't even get to see them before they melted. No, the sculptures in question were definitely not replicas, which means that Miss Bound is lying. I know, it's such an awful shame, and after we went to the trouble to recreate them too. The sculptures in the Winter Wing weren't replicas. They're the very ones from 18 years ago. I don't know how we necessarily came to that conclusion, although I will say I was sort of thinking that myself. I need to show her I'm aware of it, or I'll never get to the truth. Oh, right, the salt! Sure detected in water fountain. Oh, that's right. This is how we know. Because it has the salt, it's the salt mixed with the sugar that was in the ice. It was salty for some reason.
Hold it!
Hold it, I have some info. Those photos you mentioned. Oh, whoops. Wrong button, I meant to press right, I pressed left.
Objection!
Listen to that! The music stopped. We're here. I'm afraid you've run out of road, Miss Bound. You can lie all you like, but you can't deny the results of the tests conducted on the sculptures remained. And those tests leave no room for ambiguity. What you had on display weren't replicas. They were the very statues Mr. Frost carved 18 years ago. Oh, I can probably help her they worked it out if you like, dear. It's the sugar, you see. You might think sugar is sugar, but the composition is actually very unique. You can probably recreate the statues, but the sweet secret of their chemical makeup, no chance. Thank you, Miss Cone. I don't recall asking her for help, but still, that was quite useful. To put it simply, the statues didn't disappear back then because they'd melted. They disappeared because you spirited them away and kept them hidden for these 18 long years. Yeah, because if they had melted, there would have been a lot more water on the ground. What? She kept a pair of flavored ice sculptures around somewhere for all that time? It's not the most out there idea in the world, assuming you had a big enough icebox. Quiet, all of you. Miss Bounds, have you anything to say in your defense? So you've already learned that much. Should I take that to admit you have? Should I take that to mean you admit to having hidden the flavored ice sculptures in question? No, I admit to no such thing. You haven't proven that I was the one who took those statues away. And you won't, because it would have been impossible for me to do so in the first place. Police were already here when they disappeared. How could I have done it without them noticing? How indeed. I don't know yet exactly how you did it, but I'm far from ready to say that it was impossible for you to have stolen them away. You're a very persistent man, aren't you, Mr. Edgeworth? I am indeed, and I won't stop until I get to the truth. I see. Then I'd better tell you exactly what I did that day 18 years ago. The whole time before judging began, I was waiting upstairs in our living area on standby. During the judging, I had to go change the camera's film cartridge for Samson. But before I could take the camera back to him, I discovered Mr. Frost's body. Later, around when your father arrived, I began to make the rounds and serve tea to everybody present. And that was when I saw Mr. Gusto in Mr. Frost's room. And those were my movements on the day it all happened. I hardly see how you could take issue with any of that. Well, that's for us to decide, Miss Bound. Are you saying this is a contradiction in your story, Mr. Edgeworth? I'm more focused on proving the fact that she did indeed steal those statues. The question is, when would she have had the opportunity to do so? If I can pinpoint that, I might be able to prove what exactly she got up to. Okay, so what should we focus on? Because we got...
Hold it!
And what were you doing while you were waiting? I was in my room practicing some dance routines. I was on a TV show called Bacon Bop with Samson, you see. Bacon Bop? What kind of show was it? It was a children's show. The two of them would sing and dance, so they made a variety of sweets. Whoa! That sounds awesome! Oh, the phone. Miles, you used to watch it? My father introduced me to it. I may have watched an episode or two. So Miss Bound passed the time before the judgment, before the judgment began by practicing her dance routines. Was this the moment when Miss Bound stole the sculptures? That can't have been the moment she did it. I'd better listen carefully to what she says. Because... do we have proof that they were stolen during the whatchamacallit? When the police were there? I guess so.
Hold it!
Were you the only one who was able to move around freely during the judging? Well, I wouldn't say freely exactly, but I was able to move around more easily than the contestants, yes. Even so, I can hardly have spirited the sculpture away while Samson was standing right there, could I? And I ran straight off to change the film as soon as he asked me. I wouldn't have had time. So changing the film and the camera as requested by Mr. Tongaroa. Was this the moment when the sculptures were stolen? My brain, part of me wants to say yes. If only because... If only because she came back and there were a lot missing. I think, if I remember correctly. I'm gonna say no for now and move on. I'm gonna listen to everything she says first. Before I could take the camera back to Samson, I discovered Mr. Frost's body. Hold it! You entered the room containing Mr. Tongaroa's work before bringing the camera back to him, correct? Yes, I heard the sound of something collapsing. Samson, are you in here? Ah! The sound of the chocolate chip falling over after a certain someone took a bite out of one of the supports. And Mr. Tongaroa was still in Mr. Gusto's room when he found the body. Yes, I'm fairly sure that was the case. He was judging each room in order. He liked to take his time. Was this the moment? I'm going to say, again, I want to say yes. I want to say yes. Because no one can see her. Everyone's in their room. Mr. Frost is dead. She's like, I'm gonna go take them. This was when you moved the sculptures. But how would I have done that? By, caught? Even a great thief would have struggled to steal the sculptures around then, Mr. Edgeworth. Looks like I got it wrong. Okay. Later, I began to make the rounds and serve tea to everybody present.
Hold it!
Just as you did today. Yes, I went around and offered everybody working on the investigation a cup of tea. Present company included. I remember it well. You were here, there, upstairs, downstairs, everywhere with that little card of yours. Yep, here it is. This was the moment. I'm 100% sure of it. Interesting. And did anything strike you as strange around that time? Oh yeah. Gregory was singing the praises of Judy's tea, and I think he mentioned his saucer was cold. The saucer was cold! You know why the saucer was cold? There was an ice sculpture underneath there. His saucer was cold. I remember that. That's right! Was this the moment? Yes. Yes. Miss Bound, I believe this was when he stole the sculptures. I hate to contradict you, but the fountain room was full of witnesses at that point, Mr. Fender included. Are you suggesting that I somehow got the sculptures out of Mr. Frost's room right under everyone's noses? This is precisely what I'm suggesting. Miss Bound stole them. Right there, hiding them here, in the cart. My father and Fender had no idea that one of the sculptures was mere inches away from them, because it wasn't just a tea set you were pushing around, Miss Bound, but a hidden ice sculpture in a glass case.
Overruled.
Surely such a thing would have been impossible. How would a case of that size fit on a serving cart? It would have been spotted immediately.
Objection.
Who said anything about a serving cart? I'm not sure I follow, Mr. Edgeworth. What are you suggesting she use instead? I'm suggesting that Miss Bound use this to transport the sculpture.
Take that!
And this is the cart Miss Bound used to move the flavored ice sculptures out of Mr. Frost's room 18 years ago. And it would appear that the very same cart is still here with us in this fountain room. Right there, it's literally right there. Look at it. It's massive. We originally bought it for use in the contest. And you're saying that Miss Bound loaded Mr. Frost's sculptures onto this cart and carried them off? I am. As you can imagine, all one would need to do was lay the case on its side, add a tablecloth, and it looked exactly like a normal serving cart, thus allowing her to move the sculptures around freely. Can it be? Holy moly, of course! That's why those saucers were so chilly. They were sitting on top of a big block of ice. Jude, how could you? Impressive. Then again, you are Mr. Gregory Edgeworth's son. I should have expected no less. There isn't a scrap of evidence that I stole the sculptures all those years ago now. And yet, I know that no matter what I said or did, I'd always be under a cloud of suspicion. So you admit it? You admit that you stole them from Mr. Frost's room? Yes, I do. I took those sculptures and the glass case out of that room 18 years ago. As Mr. Edgeworth correctly deduced, I dressed up the lift cart as a serving cart to do it, and stepped in and out of Mr. Frost's room while I was going around serving tea to everybody. In the end, I removed not only the sculptures, but the flavored ice Zodiac blocks as well. Zodiac blocks? I feel like I've seen them for myself before. Yes, they're in the winter, well, whatever, the other wing. Must be incredibly heavy. Though maybe not, what with it being hollow inside. If the Winter Wing really is an exact replica of Mr. Frost's room 18 years ago, then even though my father never saw them before because they had already melted, the Zodiac blocks must have been in the victim's room back then as well. When I had finished moving the 2 ice sculptures and the 2 Zodiac blocks out, I took 2 fresh empty cases to Mr. Frost's room and put them where the original 2 had been. Only the sculptures had been kept in glass cases, you see, to prevent them from being damaged. Blocks were a little more robust, so they had been displayed as is. As stated in the contest rules, we are responsible for providing all display materials, including cases. Meaning it would have been easy for her to prepare those empty spares she swapped in. Mr. Frost's room contained quite a few other flavored ice works in progress. I figured if I melted them down somehow, the resulting puddle would look like it came from the sculptures. And that is how the sculptures from 18 years ago came to be in the Winter Wing today. I have to say, Mr. Edgeworth, that's quite the confession. Indeed, and I think she offered it so wittingly because she knows there's nothing we can do with it. That's all I have to tell you. However, despite everything I've shared, you can't charge me with anything, now can you? What? How do you figure that? Oh my. I would have thought you might know at least this much, given we're at a crime scene. I suggest you memorize the various statutes of limitations outlined in the book. Statutes of what? Simply put, Kay, prosecutors only have a certain amount of time within which they can put a suspect on trial for a given crime. Let's take a closer look, shall we? Theft is only 7 years, and murder is 15 years. So it's different for every crime? Murder 15 years, theft 7 years. Ah! Yes, Miss Bound stole the ice sculptures 18 years ago, so it's too late to have her arrested for that crime. It's also too late to try her for murder from Mr. Frost, assuming he did actually die 18 years ago. I don't believe it. Theft is a serious matter, especially when it involves the removal of evidence from a crime scene. However, as you yourself just pointed out, Miss Bound can no longer be prosecuted for her crime. Rendering your revelation rather pointless, wouldn't you say, Mr. Edgeworth? That begs a question. Is that true? Like, how accurate is that about statute of limitations? Like, it feels right, but
Objection!
that doesn't mean shit. I wouldn't be so sure about that. Oh, you see, the theft of the ice sculptures isn't my principal interest here. I find the body that reappeared 18 years after the theft to be of considerably more interest. Are you suggesting that I also hid Mr. Frost's body? I am indeed. But how do you keep a body hidden for 18 years without anybody finding it? By hiding it in a very unusual way. Oh, now this is interesting. Are you telling me you know where the body has been for all this time, Edgeworth? It's not such a big leap if you think about what Miss Bound has told us already. Let's just say it wasn't just flavored ice that she removed from Mr. Frost's room back then. Very well. If you are confident in this claim, let us put it to the test. Tell me, Mr. Edgeworth, where exactly was Mr. Frost's body hidden? Bum 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 bum. In the Can I just say that he was actually alive the whole time and was never dead? Wait, it said there was blood. Detected. Sure. So would it have been in with Gemini?
Take that!
I think this is wrong. Yeah. Okay, then I'll put the photo of the Winter Ring because I think that's right.
Take that!
A photograph of Mr. Frost's work and of the victim's body, Your Honor. You will have to forgive me, but I don't see what you mean. Where exactly is Mr. Frost's body? The victim's body is hiding right here. Right. Is it this? Are you actually the guy? Or is it down here?
Take that!
Does that really look like a body to you? Okay, I think it is. Okay, I guess it is the sculpture itself. Okay.
Take that!
The Gemini sculpture. Yes, it may look like a sculpture at first glance, but it is in fact Mr. Frost's corpse. Surely you can't be serious. Oh, I am serious, and don't call me Shirley. I don't see anything in the photographs to support such a wild claim. That's because a certain piece of evidence was used to hide the body in plain sight. And what piece of evidence might that be? The court demands that he present what was used to conceal the body.
Take that!
The missing luminous cloth? One of the claws from in the autumn wing. Yes, when it's made to glow in just the right way, it's so visually convincing you might mistake it for ice. Isn't that right, Miss Scone? Well, yes, dear, but you can make it look just about anything, really. Even blazing fire. And the right shade of blue would make it look like ice, yes. Exactly like it, in fact. Is it not the case that a certain special device is needed to generate these colors, though? You mean that special device that's right there next to it?
Objection!
If you would care to take a little look at the photograph of the Winter Wing, Your Honor. You'll notice there's a small box connected to the bottom of the Gemini display case. That's one of the very light-emitting devices in question. Detective Gumshoe even confirmed its presence. In fact, this particular device went missing 18 years ago. Back then, it was no doubt firmly connected to the cloth inside the display case, which means Miss Bound had no choice but to take it with her when she removed the sculpture. So you see, this cloth and the light-emitting device were being used to create the illusion that Mr. Frost's body was, in fact, a statue carved from ice. This can't be! Wait, so you're telling me that when we took that photo of us in the Winter Wing, yes, we were standing right in front of his body. But the body and the cloth were both recovered from the fountain. Why were they found there? The body was supposed to be in the Winter Wing, disguised as a sculpture. Because there would have been no mystery as to how the body had been hidden if we had found it as is. Miss Bound needed to remove Mr. Frost from the Winter Wing in order to throw us off the scent. Ridiculous. I don't recall her sneaking around behind our backs just to throw a body in the fountain. No, when she didn't need to, because she had another method at her disposal. A trusty lift cart, the same one that had proved so useful in executing her original theft. I believe she wheeled the body into one of the other wings and floated it downstream to the fountain. The frozen body, being quite solid, probably got stuck somewhere along the way. Which is why only the cloth appeared at first, the cloth Miss Scone discovered. And then, the body followed afterwards, once I had thawed enough. It's an ingenious theory, Mr. Edgeworth. But, can you prove that it was me? It seems a little unfair to expect me to accept your accusation without proof, don't you think? Oh, I got real tired all of a sudden. Hold on. Sudden exhaustion hitting like a brick. Oh, I feel like I'm about to fall asleep right here. Hi, Lady Devar. I mean, I'm not tired because of the case. I mean, it is to be fair, it's Ace Attorney. Case is dragging on, I'm used to. I'm just, in general, tired. I'm more like the general vibey kind of tired. What about an eyewitness? Do you think someone might have spotted her when she was moving the body? As a matter of fact, I do. And the contradiction and the piece of evidence I was provided will shed light on exactly how Miss Bound moved the body as well. Was it this one? Well, Mr. Edgeworth, do you have any evidence to support your allegation? Of course. I have a piece of very compelling proof right here. Then please present it to the court. What evidence proves Miss Bound acted as you claim?
Take that!
This... more drawings. And is that me? Yes, Mr. Butts drew sketches of people as they passed through the fountain room. But what I'm interested in is the cards we can see here. Miss Bound's serving cards. What about it? You don't see it. She's using the same trick she used 18 years ago. Ergo, we know that Miss Bound was busy moving Mr. Frost's body when this picture was being drawn. What? That's, yeah. Well, I mean, the first one was relatively short. The second one went on kind of long. Wait, is this the third or the fourth episode? Is this the third or the fourth episode? Because if this is the third episode, I think I'm gonna cry. If it's the fourth episode, we're doing well. I'm gonna cry. Never mind, you're right. This one has dragged on along a while then. I thought for some reason this was the fourth case. If I may, I don't see Mr. Frost's body anywhere in that sketch. All I see is a picture of me delivering chocolates to everyone. Really? Then allow me to direct your attention to the top color of the tablecloth, Miss Bound. I had originally thought that Mr. Butts had made an error, but he's assured me that couldn't possibly be the case. This tablecloth appears to be bright blue. Yes, a shade of tablecloth that Miss Bound doesn't seem to own. The cloth only appears to be light blue due to the body hiding just beneath it. Oh, but the shape of the card is perfectly rectangular, just as one would expect. Surely it would be immediately obvious that the tablecloth was being draped directly over the body. Nor that the body had been placed inside one of the hollow Zodiac blocks in the winter wing. Place one of those on the lift cart and easily pass muster as a regular serving cart, wouldn't you agree? Goddess of Justice! Miss Bound, surely now you must admit that it was you who moved the body just as you did 18 years ago? I didn't expect you to do all that from a single, simple sketch. But that sketch alone isn't really enough to prove your theory, is it? You needn't worry on that front. My case doesn't rest solely on Mr. Butt's artwork. Once you had disposed of the body, your serving cart became a simple lift cart once more, which is exactly what we discovered here in the fountain room. And without a serving cart, you had to find some place to put your chocolates. My chocolates? The ones I was handing out? As we saw in the sketch, you had originally placed them on top of the cart, but the chocolate you gave us came from your pockets. Oh yeah, mine was half melted. It was still super sweet and tasty though. Why did you suddenly feel the need to put the chocolates in your pockets, Miss Bound? It was because you no longer had a serving cart to put them on. That's why. One moment, please. You have explained that Miss Bound did with the chocolates in the lift cart, but what about the fab tablecloth? Where did it go? Indeed, if stashing the chocolates in her pockets was the only solution she could think of, I doubt Miss Bound had the time to dispose of an entire tablecloth. Well, Mr. Edgeworth, do you have an answer for me? Miss Bound didn't hide or dispose of the tablecloth, Your Honor. In fact, it's right here in front of us. Oh, that's right. It was also floated down the river. Or down the fountain. That's why Scone was able to find it. Where exactly? I believe that the tablecloth is not in this room. Not in this room. Could you be more specific? No? Altogether. I can. Ask Miss Scone where it is. Blah. I wonder what wrapping a tablecloth around their waist before getting down to... That's right. Interesting. I think that might prove to be a vital clue. Miss Bound has the tablecloth on her person, and in plain view, in fact. In plain view? No, surely you don't mean Miss Bound. It's the cloth around your waist, isn't it? And given that the Zodiac blocks weren't kept in glass cases, that cloth would have been in direct contact with the ice. All we would need to do is confirm my theory is test the cloth for traces of sugar used in Mr. Frost's work. The game is up, Miss Bound. It's time to come clean. You won't need to test the tablecloth. Everything you said is true. I stole Delicia's Emphasized Ultra, and I moved Mr. Frostbody. It was me. It was all me. Delicia, I'm so sorry. Last week I went into your bag and I took it. And then I put it in his pocket, hoping to make it look like he had tried to do himself in. I also made sure to leave no fingerprints but yours, just in case police suspected foul play. Alright, hold on. Oh, I'm trying to wake up. I'm trying to wake up. Judy, you... Oh, gosh. But Judes, why? Weren't we supposed to be on the same side? All fighting together to free Samson? We were. I couldn't afford to get arrested. Not yet. Not until I'd finally proven that Samson is innocent. I'd always planned to give myself up in the end, I swear. I know it's easy to say that now, but... Why do it this way, though? It's not like you. I'm sorry, Mr. Fender. Caused you so much more trouble. I've been the guilty party all along, ever since that day 18 years ago. Are you trying to tell us that the true culprit in the IS-7 incident was you? I committed a terrible crime. I took those sculptures and I stole them for purely selfish reasons. And when Mr. Frost died, they became more than mere entries in a confectionery contest. They became the final works of Samson's favorite artist. I couldn't allow them to just melt away, not before he came home. And that meant I couldn't let anybody see them, near them, not even the police. So I hid them. I knew it was wrong, but I just had to put them in the cold storage room for safekeeping. What I had actually done was far worse than anything I could have possibly imagined. Because who should have known that Mr. Frost's body itself was poisoned on one of the sculptures? So she didn't know about the body when she stole the sculptures? Potentially? Assuming she's telling the truth. Samson is a kind man. A saint. He could never kill anybody. Never! And yet, because of what I did, the police never found Mr. Frost's body, and Samson was found guilty. Von Karma was on the case. He would have found fake evidence to make regardless. After all he'd done for me, he was my family. The only family I'd have ever had. He was the most important person in the entire world to me. And Jews. After his conviction, I was forced out of our home. I was finally able to return with only a few days ago. And when I did, I went to the cold storage room to check up on the sculptures, and that's when I saw them. Saw it. Mr. Frost's body had been there the whole time. Of course, by that point, the statute of limitations had expired. So I did what I did today, because it was the only way I could think of to make things right. It seems like this poor girl has a couple of screws loose. Seems like I've misunderstood her intentions. Having trouble keeping eyes open. You ever have that thing where it's like you're so tired that you like close your eyes for a minute, and when you finally open them back up? Maybe. But do you ever get that thing where it's like you're tired until you close your eyes for a bit, and then when you open them up again, you're like, oh right, I exist in this spot. Like for some reason my brain told me I was over at a different part of the room. Ooh, I want to finish this episode though. Everything she's done, it's all been for Mrs. Hungaroa's sake. Hey, what are you thinking about, Mr. Edgeworth? Something that's been puzzling me. Why did Miss Bound use poison gas, and why not a more reliable method? And why disguise the autumn wing as the winter wing? The only reason I think of is to confuse someone who was here 18 years ago. Yeah, I wonder what she had in mind. We'll see how I feel when we finish this episode, because I know we're almost done. Right? Please? Yes? If she was trying to prove that Mr. Tongoro is innocent, Miss Bound's ultimate goal must be to... Could she have been trying to discover the identity of the true culprit? Miss Bound, your ultimate aim was to see Mr. Tongoro cleared of all charges, correct? And to that end, you had to expose the real killer, and have the police find the body from 18 years ago. Is my understanding of your intentions correct? Exhibiting the sculptures was sure to force the killer's hand to return to the crime scene. After all, they were the only person apart from you who knew that the body was hidden in the icework. So they would have freaked out thinking the body was about to be discovered and come running, yeah? Exactly. But Miss Bound ran the risk that the killer might successfully cover the tracks this time. In the worst case scenario, they might even have been able to remove Mr. Frost's body from the scene. So how could she lure the true killer into revealing themselves without putting vital evidence at risk? Oh, I see what you're getting at. You're saying that's why the autumn wing was all winter wing. I am. You were betting on one thing, Miss Bound, weren't you? That whoever opened the Pisces case you had so carefully disguised as the Gemini case would be the real perpetrator of the IS-7 incident. No. But that would mean the real killer was... Enough. Not another word. Do you realize the implications of what you are saying, Mr. Edgeworth? Are you prepared to stand behind the accusation you are clearly about to make? I am talking about a string of logic. I am not making any accusations at this moment, you bastard. Rat fuck. Miss Bound sets a trap for Mr. Frost's killer, meaning that whoever found themselves caught in the trap is highly likely to be the guilty party. But I lack the evidence to support such an assertion. To accuse him without evidence is not to be done lightly, so should I really go ahead and make my accusation and name Mr. Frost's killer? Yeah, why not? Fuck it. You only live once. My ultimate goal is to see the truth exposed, and to do that I need to seize the moment. Carpe whatever moment is in Latin. Yes, Judge Gavelle, I am prepared to stand behind my accusation. I know exactly who is to blame for the IS-7 incident. Carmelo Gusto. The victim of the poison gas attack is the perpetrator behind the IS-7 incident. Gusty? Mr. Gusto. Miss Bound, as we have established, you knew that the opening of the gallery would lure in the real culprit. He doesn't seem well, no, he seems fine in this picture. It's hard to tell. Neither of them really seem all that happy in this picture. And you set up the poison gas trap in order to catch them. Do you dispute the facts thus far? You're a very impressive man, Mr. Edgeworth, just like your father. And of course, you're absolutely right. Although perhaps you could tell us exactly what happened in your own words. Of course, I have nothing to hide anymore, so I might as well tell you everything. As you said, I set a trap here in the gallery to try and catch Mr. Frost's killer. Before we opened, I made sure that the door to the autumn wing was the only one that was unlocked. When opening time came, I went around to unlock the doors of the various rooms, and found that the autumn wing had been locked from the inside. The killer was on the other side of the door. The thought, well, it frightened me. And then she simply walked away, leaving him to fall victim to her poison gas trap. When I heard that Mr. Gusto was being treated for gas inhalation, that's when I knew he was the murderer. All that was left was for the police to find Mr. Frost's body, and then Samson would finally be proven innocent. At least, that was my plan. An hour? I can do that.
Jude, why didn't you tell me? You know I'm always here for you, right? You could have found another way. It didn't have to be like this.
Straight up, literally all we had to do was everything except for the poison gas part. You also could have just made, like, knockout gas, like sleeping gas. There's so much you could have done differently.
Thank you, Mr. Fender. You've been so very kind to me all these years. But I'm the one who created this mess, so it was up to me to try and clean it up. I didn't care what it took, as long as I could get Samson out of that awful place.
Judy. You realize this is gonna put you in prison, right?
18 years ago, the police managed to cover up the fact that Mr. Frost's body had gone missing. If I went to them now and said it had reappeared, I was afraid they might have tried to cover things up again. So I worked to set off a very public incident here in the gallery, in front of as many witnesses as possible.
I'm so sorry, Judy. You, Samson, Gregory, I let you all down.
Fender, this can't be easy for him.
No, I'm the one who should be apologizing. Mr. Edgeworth, Mr. Fender, I hope one day you can forgive me. And whatever punishment I have to face, I'm ready to accept it. But please, if I may ask one thing of you, is that you simply must clear Samson's name. Book me, boys. I'm ready to go down to the slammer.
The way the truth of these past 18 years had come to light was unexpected to say the least, and yet it had only set us down a path towards an even more shocking end.
Makes sense to me. Why you?
It does explain why he locked the door and set a blowtorch to the thing and was trying to go after the Gemini statue, or the Pisces statue that he thought was the Gemini statue.
April 2nd, 3:11 p.m., Zodiac Hall, Fountain Room.
Miss Bound, are you feeling a little calmer now?
Yes.
Good. Then allow me to get to the point. Regardless of your intentions, you broke the law.
Yes, I understand.
Nevertheless, I understand that you did what you did in order to prove Mrs. Tangaroa's innocence. Therefore, if the real culprit really is someone else, then we have a duty to reinvestigate the case.
Statute of limitation. There is nothing to suggest that anything nefarious took place in the official IS-7 incident records.
Yes, there is.
I mean, the problem is the statute of limitations ran out, so we can't charge him. But we don't have an autopsy report. And right now, there's nothing to suggest that we should take Miss Bound at her word either. So our first order of business would be to arrest the culprit of the case before us, Miss Bound herself.
Objection!
Official records cannot always be trusted, Judge Cavell, especially since there are those prosecutors who would think nothing of twisting the facts.
Are you suggesting the committee at the time overlooked just such a prosecutor?
That's for you and your people to figure out. However, it is a fact that the autopsy report was faked. seeing as Mr. Frost's body was only found just now. There really is something Mr. Von Karma in you, Mr. Edgeworth. How so, exactly? By continually defying the will of the committee and bending the truth to fit your needs, that's how. Perhaps it is time you understand how how the committee sees this case. Like a bunch of fucking assholes? The committee is willing to accept that Mr. Von Karma falsified Mr. Frost's autopsy report. Even still, Mr. Von Karma only managed to have Mr. Tangaroa convicted as an accomplice. I personally have come to believe the real culprit behind the IS-7 incident is Miss Bound. Her plan to poison and kill Mr. Gusto today was her attempt to frame him for Mr. Frost's murder.
Wow, that's sure to come out of fucking nowhere.
And this is how the committee sees things, is it?
Wow, trying to cover up more crimes. Cool. Just another crime, that the committee's committing by covering up stuff.
It is. As always, I act solely in service of law and order.
I feel like you specifically tried to spite me.
I'm gonna be real. Sounds to me like all she's doing is acting in service of the committee and covering up the truth.
That's also the only thing that we've seen from her so far.
And if I can't change her mind, there will be no saving Mr. Tangaroa or Miss Bound. Committee is willing to accept blah blah blah.
And where's your evidence?
Are you suggesting that Mr. Tangaroa and Miss Bound killed Mr. Frost together? Why not? You could even imagine they split their roles as thus. Mr. Tangaroa could have been the one to commit the act himself, while Miss Bound must remove the body. What? I thought that we could ever kill Mr. Frost. You stole this corpse and hid it for 18 years. Has it really been so surprising that you would... Miss Bound has freely confessed to all of her crimes. There was not the time to speculate about what else she might have done in the past. Very well. Then let us pass judgment on what we know she did in the present. Mr. Gusto Day was her attempt to frame him.
Hold it!
None of that makes sense, though.
Why was Miss Bound have chosen to frame Mr. Gusto for the murder? And also, how would she have led to these specific events that would have led to him being poisoned? Like, it was so specific. No doubt, because he suspected her of being the real culprit. He may have entered what he thought was the Winter Wing, simply to see if the Gemini statues were genuine. Little did he know that he would be greeted by a trap designed to silence him. A trap that nearly worked. Do you have any evidence to support that line of reasoning? Unfortunately, Mr. Gusto remained in critical condition. It'll be difficult to prove anything until he regains consciousness. In other words, there's little we can do for now. On the contrary, there's plenty we can do. You still have not grasped the situation, have you? Then allow me to spell it out for you. We have all the evidence that we need to explain both the IS-7 incident and the poison gas attack. Wrong. All the evidence you need. In the matter of the IS-7 incident, we have a body, a murder weapon, and 2 suspects. As for the poison gas attack, we have the sources of the 2 chemicals and Miss Bound's confession. And as for you, Mr. Edgeworth, we also have enough evidence to see that you yourself will have to answer to the committee in a formal hearing. For what? For fucking what? Whoa, that doesn't sound good. Don't worry, Mazarina. If nothing else, you're always more than welcome at Edgeworth & Co. Your Honor, I'd greatly appreciate if we could stay focused on the matter at hand. Of course. Now, where was I? Therefore, determine that there's no need to investigate either case for... I hate you.
Hold it!
You really mean to assert that there are no loose ends left to investigate? None at all. All of the evidence has been examined at length, and there is nothing to be learned from them. Therefore, I see no need to further prolong this trial. This court finds the defendant... First of all, first of all, we're not in a court. You can't do that. Illegal. Literally an illegal thing you were trying to do here. Fuck you. This is not an illegal trial.
The hammer is about to fall, Mr. Edgeworth. Only hard evidence can stop it now. Present what you think requires further deliberation now. Assuming there really is anything left, that is.
This isn't over yet. Not by a long shot. There's still one thing we don't have an answer to. And it's up to me to point it out to Judge Cavell.
What was it we don't have an answer to? We don't have an answer to... this? We don't have an answer to this yet. Who was trying to steal the ultimate cookbook? Oh, damn it. Or did they say that that was Scone? Let me look one more time. Okay. I'm thinking, I mean, we do technically have this. Where did we get this again? If it's not the fingerprints, or not the frame, it's... Okay, let's see what it's not for sure. It's definitely not this. It's definitely not the pamphlet or the photo. It's probably not this one. This sketch. It's definitely not that. No, no. Maybe. No, 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 no. No, no.
Objection!
Nope. I tried. I know it's here. I know it's this spot. It's just a matter of which one.
Objection!
I thought it was going to be where this came from. The Gemini case analysis? Sure, let's take a look. So, detected salt, sugar, and blood. Sugar composition matches that of sugar found in the pale blue liquid in Arctic Frost room 18 years ago. Sugar detected in fountain water also seems to be a match. Wait, the statute is suspended should the suspect flee to a foreign country! The statute is suspended from the time of any accomplice's indictment to the end of their trial. Uh-oh. Alright, well, hold on. First of all... the statute of limitations on the murder is actually, apparently, potentially, not gone. Because if it really was Gusto, and if he was out of the country for more than 3 years, then the statute of limitations hasn't run out yet. Anyways,
Objection!
you were correct.
I'm afraid there's still one question concerning the IS-7 incident that remains unanswered, Your Honor. Would you mind taking a look at this? What is it? The test results carried out on the liquid at the bottom of the Gemini case in the winter wing. As you can see, traces of blood were detected. The question is, whose?
That's exactly the question Lady DeVar asked.
Until that question is answered, I hardly think you can claim to have all the evidence. There was blood in the Gemini case. Why did I not hear about this from Eustace? Because Detective Gumshoe informed me of the results directly. I was planning to tell Mr. Wynne about myself, of course. You kept this to yourself until now, despite having no jurisdiction here whatsoever. Mark my words, the committee will hear all about what you have done here today. As ever, my interest is in the truth, and if mistakes were made in the past, they must be rectified. If you must report me to the committee, then so be it. But in return, we must be allowed to investigate this case to the very end. Ooh woo. I did not hear sound alert go off. Hi, Maya. Yeah, it feels like she should not be trusting him for anything. Hi, Maya. Hope you're doing well. Welcome, welcome. I mean... Fascinating. It did not. Hold on. Let me fix this. I just need to... It says that it's offline, which doesn't make sense. Let me just try putting this back in. Absolutely fascinating. It says it's offline, but I have it in OBS. What the hell? That's fucking weird. Fascinating. It says it's waiting for browser source implementation. I'm like, it's right here. I'm looking at it. It's activated. Fuck you all. Weird. I wonder if it's an OBS problem. Is this working? I think that is my AC. That's only when I talk. Maybe. Hopefully.
Do you know the Muffin Man? Do you know the Muffin Man?
Well, that works. Weird. Weird. I don't know. I can't fix it. It doesn't want to be fixed. I guess sound alerts aren't working. Highly unfortunate. That is not my decision to make. You will need to discuss it with Eustace. Guess who's back, losers? And with good news, too.
It was a close call for a minute there, but Carmelo Gusto is alive. Good timing. Gusto. He made it.
You're the ones who found me. Yep. Long time no see, Gusto. You're the attorney's assistant. You've grown, and you have assistant of your own now.
Assistant? No, I'm...
He hasn't got the gig just yet. This is Gregory Edgeworth's son.
Prosecutor Miles Edgeworth, actual service.
Fate moves in mysterious ways. I'm in your debt. If you hadn't found me in time, I wouldn't be here to thank you.
Oh, you're very welcome. After all, if you hadn't lived, we wouldn't be able to ask you what really happened 18 years ago.
Huh? What are you talking about?
We figured out quite a bit while you were act cold, so we know that you just woke up from a little bit of a coma type thing, but, from a poison coma, but we're gonna have to ask you some questions, you may or may not be a murderer. Including the fact that you're probably the guy who offed poor Artie Frost.
You're sweating buckets for a guy who's supposedly innocent. What? Is that true?
It's black licorice. I don't know if I've ever actually tried black licorice. I remember Twizzlers, and they were fine. Twizzlers are fine. But I don't think I've ever actually had black licorice. I don't like candy corn, I know that much. Miss Bounce set up a very elaborate trap to catch Mr. False murderer. A trap that involved rigging the Pisces case with poison gas. Perhaps in light of that fact, you could tell us in your own words what happened back then?
I wasn't much of a jelly bean person either. Like, I ate them. But, you know.
Or perhaps you'd rather exercise your right to remain silent.
Oh, it's not that. Gusto's here's a fan of the old meditation. You know, Om and all that jazz.
Wow, sleeping while standing seems pretty cool. That's one heck of a talent.
Except there's no sleeping involved in meditation, Kay.
Hey, Gusto, old pal. How about you snap out of it and tell us what went down back then?
I got caught in the girl's trap, so I must be the killer. That's your idea of a joke. I'm the victim here.
Indeed you are, Mr. Gusto. And there is no evidence that you have done anything wrong. Yet. Mr. Edgeworth and Mr. Fender are merely speculating. Rest assured they have no authority here, and that you must pay them no heed.
At least somebody here seems to be on my side.
Judge Verity Gavel. It's a pleasure, Mr. Gusto. I will assist you in any way you may require. Perhaps you could begin by explaining what actually happened 18 years ago to Mr. Edgeworth.
Fine. You want me to prove I'm innocent, Mr. Prosecutor? I'll be happy.
Objection!
So this is how you mean to play it, Judge Gavel? You're hoping Mr. Gusto will help you to hide what happened instead of trying to correct the record?
I believe only in the infallible judgment of the goddess of judgment. You're talking about a god, I'm talking about humans. Jägermeister, no. Orzo, no. Sambuca, no. I haven't tried any of those. I don't drink a lot. I drink very rarely. And when I do, it's usually a margarita. Frozen. Strawberry. It's those that, you know, oftentimes, and what's funny is, I get like, you know, get the girly sounding drink, whatever. Give me the fruity one. I don't care. I am fruity. Give me the fruit. It is so good. It's always so good. But it's just like, you know, you get a beer and it comes in like a pint or a mug or whatever. You get yourself a fucking margarita, it comes in a goddamn fishbowl. Which is like, you know what? Sure. And then you look over at the person drinking beer, it's like, by all accounts, this has more alcohol in it than yours does. Glug, 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 glug. And it comes with salt on the rim. So fuck you. And of course, but if you get the frozen one, you gotta be careful of the brain freeze. Except it is us humans who make the actual judgment calls in a court of law. I just said that, Edgeworth. I literally just said that. And so long as there are those who would use the law to their advantage, all rulings are fallible indeed. If you would use your position to further obscure the truth, then neither she nor I will forgive you. We shall see about that.
What do you advise, Judge Cavell? It would seem that you are under suspicion, because it was you who triggered the poison gas.
Yes, like, I don't care about the alcohol content, I care about the taste. I don't, like, I've had several different kinds of beers. I've had, like, Blue Moon, Bud Light, Miller Lite, a couple other kinds, and, like, they were, whatever. Like, the closest I can get to is, like, I like an apple cider's good, like Angry Orchard. I like that one, tastes like apples. Wine is fine, but I prefer ones that are strongly flavored. I've had like White Claws before, like, you know, the seltzers that are alcoholic, and Mike's Hard Lemonade. I've had that before, but that is way too much sugar for me nowadays. Oh god, I feel like if I drank a Mike's Hard Lemonade now, I would just die of a sugar overdose. Hi Kayla. Yes, we do need to nerf Judge Cavell. Her gavel is too long, and her method's too annoying. Specifically, by opening the Pisces case's lid. Would you be so kind as to share why with us?
Understood. I came to see Frost sculptures, simple as that. I made a mistake with the opening times and arrived a half hour early. Miss Bound, was there no one at the reception desk at around that time? I had left the main entrance unguarded and unlocked just in case the killer made an appearance. I was also busy making preparations elsewhere, all the way up until the gallery's opening. So no, there was no one here on the first floor then. But I did make sure that all the wings were locked up tight. All except for the autumn wing, that is. I see.
No, because that was a, your fucking whatever that worked. Your tits worked. Wait, hold on. Your tits redeem worked. I need to work on the phrasing. The wording is important there. Your tits redeem worked, and that's what Kayla did. It's a sound alert is being funky.
Worthless consumer models.
You just can't stand alcohol? Very valid. Fair. Mood.
She did all that just to see the culprit into the autumn wing, which is precisely where Mr. Gusto went.
Sneaking into a building's pretty suspicious, however you slice it.
Silence in the courtroom! I will permit no objection or intervention unless there is some evidence that the witness is lying.
The courtroom? You know this is an art gallery, right?
Mr. Gusto, if you could please continue by explaining why you opened the Pisces case. I wanted to see Miss Frost's work up close. So I went to the gym and Sorry, I guess it was supposed to be the Pisces statue. I saw the lid was frozen on tight, so I grabbed a blowtorch from nearby and tried to open it. When I finally got it open, gas came pouring out. Fascinating. His is the sort of flawless testimony attorneys can only dream of.
Yeah, the everything sounds like a lie kind.
I am none too satisfied with Mr. Gusto's explanation myself.
Alas, there is no evidence to refute it. Come on, there must be something.
It's Bond's story you should be questioning, not mine. I'm not the one who set up the gas trap. She could have killed anybody with that thing.
Objection!
She turned on the sprinklers as soon as the gas was released. She knew exactly what she was doing. She was gunning for the killer and nobody else. That killer being you, old pal. So you believe that self-confessed criminal. Miss Bound is far from blameless in this affair, and she will have to pay for her crimes.
Yeah, like legitimately, I only drink if I'm either at a place that has alcohol, especially if it's free, or if I'm just going out to a nice, on a nice restaurant, which I never do. So basically, I haven't had any alcohol since my brother's wedding last year. Then again, I had a fair amount of alcohol that day. To be fair, we started that day, I keep telling the story because it keeps being fun, me and the other women getting our makeup done, and like family and bridesmaids, we just had a fucking, what was it, screwdrivers or mimosas? One of those two. We just had a huge jug of that we kept going through. I think I had like 3 or 4 of those. And then, of course, at the wedding itself that night, I had a bunch of soju. Well, I had some soju. I didn't have a bunch. I had a couple glasses. still, I feel like I drank more White Claw at my sister's wedding years ago. A wedding is a good place for alcohol.
But so will Mr. Frost's killer. You seem determined to pin Frost's murder on me, but I had no reason to kill him. And you have no evidence to prove otherwise.
Can we really not prove that he's the killer, Mr. Edgeworth? Hold on to that thought, Gay. Hold on to that. I'm fine with White Claw. It's not bad. It's fine. Like, it just tastes, it's like fruit water. It's like, the funny thing about White Claw to me is that I feel like it probably has more flavor than LaCroix. Which is really funny. Anyways, shit. Like, seriously, the fact that he opened up the case at all is so suspicious. Like, why the fuck would you do that? Like, for what possible reason could you have to decide that it's a good idea to open up the case? Like, you get a clear look at it from the glass. Explain to me why you thought opening it was a good idea.
Mr. Gusto fell victim to the poison gas. That much is indisputable. And no matter how suspicious his action in the present may seem, they prove nothing about the past.
Yeah, but then what about you, Mr. Fender? There must be something we can do.
You're right. We may not have evidence, but we have plenty of intel. Well, let's see now. If Gusto killed Frost, he must have had a reason. He claims not to have a motive. That can't really be true, can it? If he did it, he has one. Not many people commit murder just for fun. In fact, your old man had a little back and forth with Von Karma about a probable motive, too, remember?
How could he possibly say that with any certainty? Their relationship had broken down for some reason. Right. That could have been the motive behind it.
Von Karma wouldn't let us talk to Gusto back then, but we can now. We can put the pieces together. I think the picture we've been looking for might just emerge. Yes, I think you might be right. Anything bring back over everything we know about the IS-7 incident, especially the questions that never got answered. And the finger marks. Were you the ones wearing the gloves?
Miss Scone denied that the finger marks on the frame were hers. I knew it! I knew it! So I was right earlier when I presented that to Judge Gavelle on evidence that we haven't yet concluded on.
But what are they with Mr. Gusto's? Perhaps he had wanted to take a look through the ultimate cookbook for himself.
So he asked me to go put in a new cartridge. He seemed to think there should have been more shots left than there were.
In other words, the film ran out sooner than expected.
Yes, the number of shots he took didn't line up with the number of shots remaining. I always thought Miss Bound was the one who did that. But what if it was Gusto for some reason?
My father noticed these things for a reason. I just need to piece them together correctly. And the absence of evidence is the only way to the truth. Let's do some logic.
Mr. Gusto, you and Mr. Frost conspired to create works for the contest together, did you not? Bye, Maya. I hope work's going well. Hope it's not too much of a drag. Hope you're enjoying.
So you know my little secret. Mr. Fender was kind enough to inform me. Mr. Frost was in charge of the designs, while you were in charge of the flavor. Is that correct? Ugh. What can I say? I still had a long way to travel on the road to becoming a master confectioner. But you only collaborated up through the semi-final. Something changed after that. Yeah, we both wanted to show what we could do. Show that we were better than Tangaroa.
Clearly you were not better than Tangaroa. Clearly, considering that you cheated to get to where you were.
Objection!
Then why did you help Mr. Frost with his entry for the final? What grounds do you have to say that?
Your own statement, made to Mr. Von Karma 18 years ago. Hi, Biscuit. Hello, my baby. Are you active all of a sudden?
You told him that you had been working together right up until the day before the final. Mr. Frost's entry was carved entirely from ice which would need at least a day to freeze, and whose flavors were therefore had already been prepared by Mr. Gusto.
Biscuit, come here.
Yes, which lines up perfectly with what Gusto told me. They helped Frost until the day before.
Objection!
Biscuit, come here. Come here.
So why didn't Mr. Frost help you in return, I submit that your relationship broke down for some reason, and that became the basis of your motive for murder. That's not how it was. Sure, we stopped working together, but it was all perfectly friendly.
You stopped working together in a friendly way? Kinda hard to imagine, but okay.
And besides, how do you think I did it exactly? You think I just strolled into Tongoroa's room and killed Frost? I couldn't have killed the man while Tongoroa was in there working on his chocolate pizzas, could I?
Who said that you killed him while he was in there?
So you see, it can't have been me. I wouldn't be so sure. There must be a window of time when Mr. Tongoroa wasn't in his room. If I can prove that, I can prove that Mr. Gusto had the opportunity to kill Mr. Frost.
Let's see here. Okay, I tried.
There's no logical connection between those two things.
It's fine, whatever. I think it's... Wait, did I just... No.
Photographing the cookbook's contents would be the perfect way to steal its secrets undetected. And what if Mr. Gusto did just that? What if he used Mr. Kongoro's camera to photograph the book? It'd be the perfect crime. So much better than stealing it and getting chased by the cops. A sneaky snapshot or 20, huh? That could work. The only question is, when would he have done it? Good question. What about during afternoon tea? Didn't Delicia say that Gusto and Frost had missed out on a little tea party they had? Which brings me to the next question. When do we know for certain that Mr. Frost was still alive? Mr. Frost was kept to himself inside his room after the contest had started, but he was gone by the time Miss Scone snuck into it to sample his work, meaning there's a good chance he was murdered before the end of afternoon tea.
Got it. Logical connections.
We can be sure that Mr. Frost was alive until the beginning of afternoon tea, making the time the only window during which Mr. Gusto could have killed him. Are you satisfied with Mr. Gusto's story now, Mr. Edgeworth? Sadly, I'm afraid I'm still rather unsatisfied, but things are finally starting to become clear. And the truth will soon come to light at last. Do you mean to say that you have uncovered new evidence? Evidence? No. I was hoping I might convince Mr. Gusto to open up to us about it instead. Oh, is it mind games this time again? It is. Mr. Gusto, I have a question for you. I said I have a question for you. What is it? You chose to make your entry to for the final on your own. I told you I wanted to test myself. I wanted to prove I was the best in the world. If that were the case, then surely you wouldn't have chosen to cheat in the first place. So tell me, Mr. Gusto, why did you feel the need to team up with Mr. Frost?
Yeah, if you seriously thought you were the best, you wouldn't have cheated.
18 years ago, Mr. Gusto and Mr. Frost collaborated in a confectionery contest. But why did they work together? And why did they enter the contest in the first place? That's the information I need to get out of my opponent somehow.
Ooh boy, he's got a pawn, a rook, a bishop, and is that the queen? Looks like a queen to me.
Mr. Gusto seems to have a habit of pretending to be asleep when things aren't going his way. Let's start by focusing why he chose to work with Mr. Frost. By my hand, now is the time to dig up the truth that was buried all those years ago. Let's play mind chess. Mr. Gusto, what inspired you to collaborate with Mr. Frost? We were acquaintances back before we were contestants. He was interested in entering the contest, so we decided to sign up together. And your decision to pair up with a sculptor had nothing to do with your lack of faith in your skills. Ugh, you don't know me. We joined forces because we wanted to make the most perfect creations possible, that's all. I would expose all your lies in the end, Mr. Gusto. It's only a matter of time.
Okay.
Sorry, wanted to see if I could do an impression of you. Turns out it's easy. Spies what? Fine, boo. It's like he wasn't asleep here, so I didn't know if that was time to buy it.
Frost's son and mine were in the same grade at school, so we got along pretty well too.
Oh, so you were just two friends who happened to try for the title of World's Greatest Confectioner? Pretending to be asleep when the going gets tough won't work on me, I'm afraid. Mr. Frost was a sculptor, Mr. Gusto. I doubt he cared much about winning a title for confectioners. In which case, he probably had a different motive for taking part in the contest, wouldn't you say? Ugh.
Fine, it was me. I wanted that title. Frost was only in it for the prize, the ultimate cookbook.
I see. A social objective dovetailed so neatly, you decided to work together. But then something happened. A breakdown in your relationship, perhaps? If so, I want to know why, and I also want to know what happened to your sons. What happened to your children?
Mr. Prosecutor, I'm so quite unwell after my brush at death. Pushed me too hard. And I'll be on my way back to the medical room. No, wait. Then you'd better wrap this up quickly. I'm already dangerously low on patience.
Mr. Gusto is trying desperately to make his escape, but he's not going anywhere yet. And as long as he's still keeping things from me. So let's figure out what he was really after next. There's no time to lose. I need to pick the right line of questioning, and fast. You too had your eyes on something other than a title, didn't you? After all, I'm not sure the title of World's Greatest Confectioner even counts for that much.
Now you're insulting the way of the confectioner. My goal, my only goal was to win that title. I didn't care about anything else. You have no idea how much it would have meant to me. Look, my sense of design may not have been up to snuff back then, but you should see me now.
Oh, so you've improved?
You bet I have. I didn't do all that training in Zhangfa for nothing.
He keeps talking about the training he did in Zhangfa. How long were you in Zhangfa? Long enough for the statute of limitations to still be...
I looked up to Tanjiro, you know. Spent years poring over the designs of his work. Even used to watch his show with my son.
It sounds to me like Mr. Tanjiro's work was especially influential in your early studies. And with his recipe book, you might have even become the best someday.
Maybe. The book was a real treasure, no doubt about that. Any confectioner would have wanted it.
You claim that your only goal was to win the title, as you also seem to have an interest in the contest prize, the ultimate cookbook. Hi, baby. I've been nerfed. I'm too smart. I'm too powerful.
The greatest collection of recipes by the world's greatest confectioner. I can't say I had absolutely no interest in it, and even if I did... What exactly is so wrong with that?
Nothing, I suppose. Only that the book contained recipes for medicines, not desserts. And everyone who entered the contest supposedly knew that. Ugh. I feel like I'm finally getting somewhere. Can't have them sit for my grasp now. So stay calm and keep the pressure on. Stay calm and keep the pressure on. Now, let's find out why you wanted the cookbook. So your plan was to win the cookbook and use it to help you with your own creations.
What else? A book like that could have improved my craft tenfold.
You could have made a lot of money if you'd sold it.
I don't know much about what was actually in there, but it was worth more than money, I'll tell you that.
Come now, Mr. Gusto. I think you know more about the ultimate cookbook than you claim.
They told us a little bit about it at the start of the contest.
And then you know what kind of recipes it actually contained, don't you? And that they weren't dessert recipes at all.
I see you did your homework. Fine, so you know what there's really in there. The ultimate cookbook, or the Angel's Cookbook, to give it its proper title. It's a collection of chemical formulas in which to synthesize new medicines nobody had ever heard of.
So he did know that the cookbook actually contained recipes for medicines. To be an important clue. Oh, did you know how valuable the cookbook really was?
What kind of question is that? It was a collection of Tanjiro's recipes. There wasn't a confectioner in the world who wouldn't have wanted to get their hands on it.
Time to deploy my clue.
Your designs may have improved thanks to your training in Zhangfa, but you clearly didn't do enough work on your skills in deception. You've already admitted that you knew the ultimate cookbook was a collection of recipes for medicines. Thereby making your interest not gastronomical, but pharmaceutical in nature. You're using a lot of big words.
Why do I have a feeling his son was sick and dying?
Your confectioner, Mr. Gusto, you had no professional interest in revolutionary new medicines, which suggests that your interest must have been personal.
I underestimated you. Fine, you're right. Winning the title wasn't the only reason I entered the contest. I needed one of the recipes in that book. It was for my son. He was sick.
He was? Tell me more.
That's none of your business. I've told you as much as you need to know.
He looks rattled. Can't let him off the hook. Let's find out what this mystery illness was. I've almost gotten to the bottom of this. I can feel it. Just a few more moves. Tell me a little more about your son.
He was my pride and joy, and my biggest fan.
And you entered the contest in order to help him.
You clearly don't have children of your own. Any father would have done the same. I would have done anything to help him. Anything.
Even cheat.
He would come see me here at the contest when you do. Right up to the semi-final.
Really? He didn't get in the way of your work? If you were trying to beat Samson Tangaroa, surely you don't have the time to look after a child.
Yeah, well, I wanted to do what I could for him. He said he wanted to always be the first to try my creations.
Still recovering, so if you've got nothing to say, let me go back to the medical... Damn it.
Well, but... the problem is you're so annoying.
I guess I only bide my time when he's acting like that. You said your son was sick, Mr. Gusto, and yet he was able to come to join you for the contest.
It wasn't that kind of illness. Nothing life-threatening, anyway.
This feels like it could be an important clue. So you needed the cookbook to cure your son?
Yeah. Nowadays you can get the medication you needed anywhere. But back then, that book was our only hope. Which is why I didn't dare waste my time on fancy tea parties. Had to give my all to my work.
And what about Mr. Tangaroa's work? Surely that tea break gave you the perfect opportunity to go steal a glance at it.
And what makes you think I had the energy or time to care about what the others had made?
I think you made it abundantly clear how much interest you had in Mr. Tangaroa's work. What's more, if you were that determined to win the ultimate cookbook, I seriously doubt you would have passed up on a chance to take a peek at your competitor's entry.
I'd had plenty of chances throughout the contest to see and sample my rival's work, you know. But each time I did, nothing seemed to have any flavor. Must have been nerves or something.
Nothing Mr. Gusto tasted had any flavor. Wait, but that's exactly what Samson...
Hold on. Hold on. Thoughts are going through my brain. Samson had the same problem. He couldn't taste things. Or he couldn't taste certain things.
It seems like it could be an important clue.
The question is how?
Could you tell me the name of the disease your son suffered from?
You're a real cold customer, Mr. Prosecutor. Isn't it enough that he was seriously ill? Why would you force me to tell you more?
You've already shared with me that your son's illness wasn't life-threatening, so why are you so reluctant to share any further details?
It may not have been life-threatening, but that doesn't mean it hadn't been life-altering.
I see. That must have been very hard on both of you.
Of course it was! That's why I did everything I could to find a cure. We were desperate. We couldn't taste anything. Not even his favorite desserts.
As I understand it, the Ultimate Cookbook contains the recipe for a very particular medication, one that Mr. Tangaroa used to cure himself of his own taste disorder.
So he had it too.
Two, you say? So your son has a taste disorder then, am I correct?
How did I let that slip?
You've been asking me to believe that you needed to win the cookbook in order to cure your son. Or was that really the case?
Of course it was. What are you saying?
I'm saying I'm not so sure that's true based on everything you've told me. Time to deploy my clue. Taste disorders are difficult to live with. It isn't easy not being able to enjoy your food. You should know. After all, you just told me you experienced something like that during the contest.
I should know. I lived without it for months. What a hellish time that was. Like, honestly, the more you think about it, I just like, dear God, it was miserable not having taste for 4 months.
You said that nothing you sampled had any flavor. Those were your words, correct? Which assumes that you were suffering from a taste disorder. A confectioner without a sense of taste, and not exactly ideal. Are you sure it was actually your own condition you were seeking a cure for, Mr. Gusto?
I've had enough of your speculations. I managed just fine in that contest, made all my own entries, no problems.
Sorry, but I'm afraid you're contradicting your own testimony. You already admitted that you and Mr. Frost had worked together during the contest.
It's too late to claim you did it all on your own now.
You would have us believe that you are a man of principle, a dedicated student of the confectioner's arts. Yet you abandon those principles and conspired with Mr. Frost to rig the contest. Also, you could cure your own taste disorder.
You got me, Mr. Prosecutor. As you said, my sense of taste was shot. My son's was fine. I kept it hidden for so long. 18 years and nobody knew.
Sadly, you can lie to others, but you can't lie to me. Both Mr. Gusto and Mr. Frost entered the contest hoping to obtain the Ultimate Cookbook, for the medicine that would cure Mr. Gusto's disorder and the money it would bring for Mr. Frost. Thus, an uneasy alliance was forged, and that, I believe, is checkmate.
Days Without Futurama reference, Maya. It's water. Pure. The ultimate secret ingredient is water. Just regular water. Wow, which look at that. I guess the secret ingredient was inside you all along. Yes, regular water laced with several tons of LSD. Woo! I'll admit it. You're good. I never thought anybody any of this, but you figured it all out anyway. It's true. 18 years ago, I developed ageusia. What's ageusia? There's a taste disorder that makes it so you can't taste anything at all. Confectioner's worst nightmare.
Mr. Fender, is this what Mr. Tangaroa had as well?
No, the big man had what they call dissociated taste disorder. Basically, some things could taste just fine, while others had no flavor at all. So he suffered too. Can't have been easy. Not when there wasn't a way to cure it on the market.
Which is why you needed Mr. Tangaroa's cookbook. Do you admit now that that was the real reason you entered the contest?
It was only one of the reasons. I wasn't lying when I said I wanted the title. When I put my mind to something, it gets done, and I won't lose to anybody. I may not have been able to taste it then, but I still knew my stuff was good enough to win.
Oh, so you went into the final thinking you stood a good chance of winning?
Of course.
What was it that Fender said about Mr. Tangaroa thought of Mr. Gus's? His creations were a perfect balance of flavor and design. But disappointingly, his entry for the final was subpar on both counts. And we were told that your entry for the final was far from the prize-winning taste sensation you described. What's happened, Mr. Gusto? What went wrong that day?
I didn't have my taste tester, okay?
Ah, so you admit that Frost was your taste tester. That's what you got. Well, that's part of what you got out of the deal.
Fine. You want me to talk, I'll talk. But you're not going to like what I have to say. Frost and I were working together right up to the semi-final. I handled the flavor, he did the design. But I wanted to face Tangaroa on the final on my own. No help, just me and my skills.
So I helped Frost with his entry, but mine I did alone. If it didn't taste good in the final, that's on me. What can I say? I lack training. And that's all there is to it. Happy now? I don't see any obvious contradiction in his testimony. That'd be easy to get anything real out of him. He's managed to not slip what really happened for 18 years after all. Why don't you try pushing him a little bit, Mauserino? See if you can't snake something loose. I think I just might have to, Fender. Okay.
Hold it!
Frost was in charge of designing the work you both submitted, while you handled the taste. Yeah, he was a sculptor, a craftsman, and his design was second to none. But he was clueless about confectionery, which is what I came in. We each did what the other couldn't. And boy, did you not have an eye for aesthetics. Not even for the simple stuff. Ugh. Did you get any better? Oh my god! How do you like me now? Okay, that's pretty dope. I kind of love that. That's pretty great. The national symbol of Zhangfa. Oh yeah, it's a phoenix. It's awesome. I'll say, pretty different to the stuff you were pumping out 18 years ago. Ha 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 ha! Behold the fruits of my training. I dedicated my whole life to my craft. But back then, we both needed each other's help, so we joined hands until the final.
Hold it!
You were serious about winning the title then? Of course! The art of confectionery is my life. Why wouldn't I have wanted to be crowned the greatest? But I still had a lot to learn back then. Guess it's no surprise my work wasn't up to scratch. But the title wasn't the only thing you wanted. There was the cookbook too, and you wanted the book even more than you wanted the title. Isn't that right, Mr. Gusto?
Overruled.
Mr. Edgeworth, you are badgering a witness who is still suffering the effects of today's attacks. I cannot allow this harassment to continue. I understand, Your Honor, but ignore him, Mr. Gusto. You need not answer that vile prosecutor's question. But please do continue your testimony in your own time. I helped Frost with his entry, but mine I did alone. So you're saying Mr. Frost didn't help you at all, but he'd helped you up until then, correct? It's a bit strange of him to stop so late in the contest, no? Strange or not, this is the truth. Could be he had his reasons too, I wouldn't know. If he's lying, it's gonna be a headache to prove. 18 years is a long time. Not unless that gizmo of yours has a built-in lie detector, Kay. If it did, I'd have stolen the show from Mr. Edgeworth long before now. Don't worry, Fender. I can tell when he's lying. No doohickey's assistance required. Please, Mr. Gusto, continue your testimony. What can I say? I lack training.
Hold it!
And yet, I heard that your creations prior to the final were scored highly for the flavor. So what went wrong? Was there some kind of cooking accident on that day? Ugh, no, nothing like that. It was... I told you I had a taste disorder. My sense of taste failed me, as simple as that. But Mr. Frostinshire was complimented on its flavor. Your sense of taste hadn't failed you then. Did something happen overnight? Ugh. I don't think he's going to spill any more beans, Mr. Edgeworth. But perhaps I should ask him about something else. You knew Mr. Frost from before the contest, correct? You remembered, I see. My son and Frost used to go to elementary school together. We have evidence of that, that's true.
Hold it!
It was no coincidence that you both entered the contest, correct? Yeah, I heard about it first, and I thought Frost. I knew he'd be interested. He was always short of cash for his sculptures. That's right, Mr. Frost was supposedly always in financial trouble, wasn't he? The cookie's really worth that much, huh? I see that glint in your eye, kiddo, but don't get your great thieving hopes up. It was worth a lot back then, but these days you can find most of the stuff in there on any drugstore shelf. Oh, bummer. So literally every last contestant only ever had eyes for that cookbook, I see. An 18-year-old mystery, and the key to unraveling it is finally in my grasp. I just need to remember everything Fender told me about what he and my father discovered.
Hold it!
I think we need to talk about the semi-final. Does something change between the semi-final and the final, Mr. Gusto? Not really. The only difference between the semi-finals and the final is that Frost wasn't helping.
Hold it!
So you really completed your final entry without Mr. Frost's help? I may not have had a design to lean on, but I knew I was still solid when I came to flavor. So the visual was the only thing that changed between the semi-final and final. You sure, Gusty, old pal? Gonna have to call you out on that one, I'm afraid. It wasn't just its looks that got a big thumbs down come judgment time. You got trashed on flavor, too. Doesn't sound like much like a winner to me. Despite his confidence, Mr. Gusto failed on flavor, too. Lack of Mr. Frost's assistance shouldn't have affected that. So there's some other difference. Are we sure? What's the difference with Tangaroa? No, that wouldn't make sense.
Hold it!
I don't think we have the evidence to do anything yet. So let's just keep pressing and trying to stay the course this time. No, I'll just stick with what I have for now. Okay, no, okay, those are the two options. I'm thinking, excuse me. He talked about their sons being in elementary school together, but we don't necessarily have evidence to refute that because that's right here. We don't necessarily, but it doesn't necessarily show them the two of them getting along.
Objection!
Hi, babies. What are we objecting to?
Hold it!
I want to see. I want to try something.
Objection!
Okay, that is what we needed. I'm not objecting to anything. I'm thinking of one significant difference between the semi-final and the final, Mr. Gusto. Your son. This is him in the photograph, correct? You told me he was here with you up through the semi-final. Oh, maybe his son was the one that was doing the taste testing. He was? What of it? Oh, but indeed. He was here with you until the semi-final, until he suddenly wasn't for the final. And just as suddenly, your work from being lauded for its flavor to being lambasted for it. I don't think that's a coincidence, do you? I got it at the bar. We're good. I figured it out. He wasn't just spending quality time with his father. He was playing a much more pivotal role than that. I just wanted him to see me harder than work. That's all I was trying my best for us. Oh no, maybe it was him being here that helped me do so well in those early rounds. He talks a good game, but nothing about this guy screams super dad to me. Indeed, thankfully, we would only have to give such an idea credence if his story were true. After all, how much could the encouragement of one small boy affect the taste of a grown man's work? Mr. Gusto prided himself on the flavor of his creations. But then he lost his sense of taste. So again, biscuit, uppy. Biscuit, up. 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 He must have had a tough time maintaining his high standards after such a devastating loss, unless... I'm sure your son was here to cheer you on. That wasn't all he was here to do, was it? You're a very suspicious man, Mr. Prosecutor, but why not try answering yourself for a change? What was an elementary school kid doing here? Biscuit. Biscuit. Careful with that. Your son knew the taste of your work pretty well, I imagine, Mr. Gusto. He was my biggest fan, of course he knew it. In which case, he would have been a good judge of whether something tasted on brand, so to speak, no? What are you implying? You've already told us that you were suffering from a taste disorder. I mean, yeah, that does seem to be the case. He's so, like, every time I do, like, a, come on, biscuit, he just doesn't. But then it's like, fine, I don't even care if you're in my lap. It's like, okay, now I would jump.
No one knew about your condition. Indeed, I doubt Mr. Frost would have wanted to continue collaborating with you had he found out. After all, it was your job to make sure his creations tasted good. Therefore, your son wasn't just here to support you. He was helping you by taste testing your work. Dang, now it all makes sense. Frost stuff tasted good because it really was finished the day before when the kid was still here. You have a vivid imagination, Mr. Prosecutor. But do you seriously think I trust a kid to tell me how to adjust the taste of my masterpieces? I have some pride, you know, even back then. Did you now? My designs may not have been much to write home about back then, but I always knew my work tasted better than anybody else's. You'd think I'd risk everything by putting my reputation in the hands of a child. It's just more speculation. That's all it is. In that case, I asked to speak with your son this instant and see how much of your story he can corroborate. Sadly for you, my son is no longer my concern. What? As soon as I got my sense of taste back, I went straight to Zhang to start my training and cut off all ties with the kid for good.
What? Okay, I'm definitely taking away your super dad mug.
You abandoned your own child. And that ain't half of it. No one knows where he is, even now. Cops have looked all over for him, but no dice. So, still think you can prove your asinine theory? I'd like to see you try.
What the fuck did you do to your own kid? Oh no, my taste is gone. You could have just fucking asked. You could have just fucking asked Tangaroa to make something to help you. Legit. My dude, the fuck? What happened to your kid? I want to. I wish we could. How old is this man? He's 54? Wow, dude, you're real white for 54. Is that all the stress of killing your son? Or sending him off to another country? When I got my sense of taste back, what need do I have for a son? Silence in the courtroom. While Mr. Gusto's words and actions may demonstrate a certain lack of humanity on his part, the goddess of justice cannot judge him for that. I can judge him to hell and back for that. Therefore, Mr. Edgeworth, I believe it is time for you to admit defeat. Give it up. 18 years is a long time for anything to surface now. Proof or otherwise. Mr. Edgeworth, we have to do something. If we don't, the truth might be lost forever. Where are you, Detective Gumshoe? Can't imagine whose blood it could possibly be, but... No. No. No! It's not. Please tell me it's not. Do not say it's the kid's blood. Do not say it's the kid's blood. That's the last piece of the puzzle. I'm sure of it. Once we know whose blood it is. Hey, Miles, sorry to cut into your mind palace time, but I was pondering something myself. Our friend Gusto didn't come here just to check up on the body, did he? You mean because he tried to open the case? Exactamundo. Think we might have anything that might explain why he tried to do that? We might. If Detective Gumshoe can make it back in time with a certain piece of evidence. That's quite enough idle chatter, defense. Now, if you... Mr. Edgeworth, sir! Sorry to keep you waiting! Perfect timing. You always know how to give me a heart attack. You always know how to give your timing so perfectly that I have a heart attack waiting for you. Speak of the devil. I take it you have the test results, Detective. Yes, sir! The lab just got back to me! Detective, please. Court is in session. Now then, am I right to assume that you are bringing us the evidence Mr. Edgeworth was just speaking of? What? Hey, no fair! Why didn't anybody tell me about any of this? This is indeed the evidence in question, Your Honor. It needed testing, so I asked him to carry it out. What the? Why is everybody always helping you? I'm supposed to be the one in charge here. I have seniority, bitch. Mr. Winner, I'm sorry I didn't involve you, but this is important. Can we at least hear what the detective has to say? Well, alright. So, Detective Gumshoe, what do the tests have to tell us? You're not gonna believe this, but the owner of the blood we found in the liquid at the bottom of the Gemini case is Carmelo Gusto, the victim of the poison gas attack! Oh, thank God it wasn't his son.
Oh, what are you talking about? Thank you, Detective. You've been very helpful. Well, it looks like my suspicions were correct.
What do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth?
Yes, what do you mean? Explain yourself. What is the significance of this blood to this case?
Isn't that obvious?
It's only the very thing the perpetrator of the IS-7 incident has been trying to hide all these years.
He wanted to clean up the blood. He wanted to make sure that because the blood would prove that he was the one who put the body there.
The fact that your blood was found inside the Gemini case, Mr. Gusto, is as good as finding your blood lying right next to Mr. Frost's body.
Overruled.
Why would there be traces of your blood in there of all places, Mr. Gusto? If you want to answer her honor, Mr. Gusto, then I will. There wasn't just blood in the liquid from the Gemini case, there were traces of salts and sugar, too. There were. And if you remember, one particular part of Mr. Frost's work was allegedly very salty indeed. Oh yeah, you're talking about what Delisha told us back then, right? What was it again?
Hey, Ever, I never tried ice so scrumptious in all my life. I wish I could add a bite. Scrumptious except for the salty bit, of course.
Yes, the liar, and only the liar, tasted as if it had been flavored with salt. There were no traces of salt anywhere else in Mr. Frost's entry.
Very interesting. Then perhaps you can tell us, Mr. Edgeworth, where did the salt on the liar come from?
Take that!
This is
The lamp from the IS-7 incident. Indeed, and I believe that the salts that gave the liar its flavor came from just such a lamp. Mr. Von Karma had established that both salt lamps were in Mr. Tongarua's room at the time of the crime. One of them was used to kill Mr. Frost, and it was stained with his blood, but no corresponding pool of blood was found in Mr. Tongarua's room. Right, because the culprit had chucked the piece of chocolate with that on it into the little stream. Furthermore, aside from the liar, no traces of salt were found anywhere else in Mr. Frost's room either. Ugh. Hey, come to think of it, the lamps we found in Alicia's room were both broken. Those appear to be... We never did figure out how the one that wasn't used to kill Frost got busted, but are we thinking maybe it had Gusto's blood on it at some point? Anyone whose blood was found on one of the lamps would have been a person of interest to the police, so the killer needed to hide the blood somehow, and in a way that wouldn't arouse suspicion. Are you seriously suggesting that the liar was used to do just that? I am. I suspected the bloody salt was somehow applied to the liar so that it could be hidden inside the case. Because unlike the fountain water, the sculptures would have needed more time and care to test properly. And so he waited and waited for his chance to dispose of the liar undetected. Then the reason he's here today is, 18 years ago, Mr. Frost's body and the evidence pointing to his killer were taken away together. This, of course, was not part of the perpetrator's plan, and thus a new dilemma arose. How could he be sure that neither Mr. Frost's body nor the evidence would be discovered someday? So back he comes 18 years later, sneaking in bright and early to try and cover his tracks. Well, Mr. Gusto, are you finally ready to admit it? That you are the one responsible for the IS-7 incident? Mr. Gusto, it's all because of you that Samson... Gusto, so I finally got caught, eh? All these years later. Nobody came close back then, not even that big-shot prosecutor, or the attorney. And that's some impressive work, Mr. Prosecutor. I have to hand it to you. You admit it, then, that you murdered Artie Frost. Sure I do. I did it, I killed him. But he only had himself to blame. What do you mean by that? This idiot doesn't know the statute of limitations laws. He agreed to help me. We are supposed to help each other out so that one of us could win. He doesn't know the statute of limitations is paused when you're out of the country.
and whoever one was supposed to let the other use the cookbook. But on the day of the final, the rat finally showed his true colors. Seriously, Frost, we had a deal! Sorry, I'm not helping you in the final. Our little agreement is over, Gusto. But I helped you! I spent all day yesterday making the ice for your pieces! Did you? And you can prove that, I suppose. What you? Wait, you were planning to betray me right from the start, weren't you? Not the Frost double-crossed me. I had to make my piece for the final by myself. And like you said, my son wasn't there, so I didn't have any help with the flavor either. So much for the pride you claim to have in your ability to make delicious desserts. Go ahead and judge. You have no idea what it was like for someone like me to lose my sense of taste. I gave up everything to become the best. Everything! I take pride in that. Something someone like you could never understand. You're right, I don't understand. Do you take pride in the fact that you resorted to murder? Or that you abandoned your son? Why would I want to understand someone who could do such things? A man can't afford to rely on other people. I learned that the hard way 18 years ago. My son never showed up on the day of the final. And in hindsight, I wouldn't be surprised if Frost was the reason why.
Why would you think that? What exactly happened to your son?
How am I supposed to know? I told you. He's none of my concern anymore. And according to you guys, nobody knows where he is now either.
And you don't care? You're horrible!
So with his disappearance, so too with your chances of winning, correct? Yeah, I had to find another way of getting my hands on that book. That's when inspiration struck. I decided to skip afternoon tea and snuck into Tangaroa's room. Should have been so easy. All I had to do was photograph the formulas I needed and get out of there. But then Frost showed up. I thought I might find you here. Stealing recipes from the famous cookbook, huh? Frost! What's this? A cure for taste disorders? Oh no, that's just too tragic. A confectioner who can't taste anything. What will people say? If you tell anybody, I'll... Ugh! You what? You can't even hit me, you miserable worm. Why, you? Frost shot me hard when I went to punch him. Knocked me clean off my feet. I crashed into one of the lamps. Must have been when my blood clotted.
So Mr. Frost wasn't the first to get hurt?
When it was all over, I realized I had to get rid of that blood somehow. So I scraped off all the bloody bits. I dissolved those salt shavings in some flavored ice mixture and brushed it all over the heart. And that's how you made the evidence linking you to the murder vanish. Frost was going to blackmail me. He would have made me give him money to keep quiet about my condition. So you decided you had to kill him? Yeah, I guess I did. Why wouldn't I? Why would I let him live? Would you want someone holding something like that over your head? Besides, he's the one who drew first blood. Makes for a solid case of self-defense, don't you think? So that was the impetus behind it all. Anyway, I initially took the lamp to Frost's room. Went straight there once I figured out how I was going to hide the bloody pot. Inspired by all the sky sculpting tools lying about the place, I guess. I'm not as dumb as you pretend to be. Yeah, figured I could use them to ship it off and grind it up. Once that was done, painting the stuff all over the heart was easy.
But why, Samson? Why did you have to frame him?
Samson, I never meant for the cops to pin it on him. That was your fault! You and the rest of them! Why do you think I went to the trouble of placing the lamps and claw spacks in Scone's room? There's only one reason to plant the murder weapon in the room with another contestant, and that's to cast suspicion on that person.
What? You tried to frame me, Gusty Pants?
Yeah.
But why? Why, poor old me.
I respected Tongaro. He was the best, a true champion. I would never have wanted him to take the fall. But you are a fraud. Your work wasn't even real. You had no respect for our craft at all. You deserve to be punished for what you did.
Oh, Gusty, how could you?
And had you refrained from eating Tangaroa's work, Frost's body wouldn't have been found. My plan was to wait until Tangaroa was judging your room. That's when I'd sneak the corpse to Frost's room and freeze it. But thanks to you, Bound found it before I had a chance to retrieve it.
I don't understand. Why'd you need to freeze the body at all?
Indeed.
Mr. Edgeworth, surely you must know. Why did Mr. Gusto need to freeze the body?
Mr. Gusto needed to freeze Frost's body in order to obscure the time of death, and they determined that the murder occurred during afternoon tea. He would have been an obvious suspect. Bingo! Freezing Frost's body wasn't simple. Preparing everything took time, so I decided to put his body in the chest in Tangaroa's room where I got everything ready in Frost. At the time, it seemed like the perfect hiding place. Never counted on some gluttonous farm missus showing up and making the whole ship collapse!
I still don't get it though. Why disguise the body as an ice sculpture at all?
The sooner it was found, the smaller the effect of freezing it would have had on masking the time of death. Therefore, he needed to disguise it, at least until it's fully frozen.
How awful. Using Mr. Frost's own work to help you cover up the truth behind his murder.
Ironically, Tangaroa would have been just fine if the body hadn't been found before I got it out of his room. If only things had gone to plan. He wouldn't even have been arrested, let alone convicted.
Phew. You mean, it was my fault? Everything that happened to Samson, it was all because I found the body?
Don't let him get inside your head, Judes. None of this is your fault. If it wasn't Samson, it would have been Delicia instead. She would have been the one they arrested. Either way, there's only one person to blame here, and that's Gusto.
Well, here's the thing. He's definitely going to jail. He's gonna be like, ha, statute of limitations, motherfuckers. And I'm gonna be like, ha, the statute is suspended while you're in a different country, and you love to talk about how much time you spent in Zhangfa. Because very likely Devar, specifically because of what Bybes just said. Because he didn't want the truth getting out there. He couldn't be convicted of it, but it could still tarnish his reputation.
It didn't help that the initial detective was so bad at his job either. He never even told the prosecutor that the body had vanished. So then, Mr. Von Karma had unwittingly placed Mr. Tangaroa under arrest in the absence of a body. I mean, I guess it would explain why he was so keen to wrap things up. Still, you think he'd notice something as big as that if he'd taken a look at a few reports, right? What if someone had been deliberately distorting the facts of the case, though? Either way, it seems that Mr. Von Karma didn't know about the body until after the arrest had been made. But admitting that would have spoiled his perfect record, so he kept it to himself and proceeded to prosecute Mr. Tangaroa regardless. Can this really be true? You don't feel bad at all? Somebody spent 18 years in prison because of you. Sticks and stones, Gertie, sticks and stones.
What a jerk! I ought to arrest you right now, pal!
I'm afraid I can't allow you to do that, Detective. So you notice, huh? Glad somebody did. The judge is right. You can't lay a finger on me.
What? Why? You just confessed to murder.
No idea, huh? Then I guess I'd better lay it out for you.
Oh, good. And I get to just...
I killed Frost 18 years ago. The statute of limitations for murder in this country is 15 years. You do the math. You can't arrest me. You think I'd have confessed otherwise?
What a fucking moron. That's right, the statute of limitations is only 15 years. Just really at the end of the line?
Once the statute has expired, he can't be charged, so...
But...
How unfortunate, Mr. Edgeworth. I'm afraid that Mr. Gusto's confession and your deductions will have to be struck from...
But wait, but we can also still... We now have evidence that Tangaroa was falsely imprisoned. We can still free him. And that Mr. Tangaroa will remain in... No! Fuck you! Okay, look! It shouldn't matter that... I'm gonna strangle you. I'm going to... Actually, no. I'm gonna take your gavel, stretch it out as far as I can, pin you up against the wall. No, don't make it horny. Never mind. I'm just gonna beat you to death with your own gavel. But we've finally proven that the police never had Mr. Frost's body in their possession. Even if we can't arrest Mr. Gusto, surely Mr. Tangaroa has grounds for a retrial on that basis.
Does he? I wouldn't be so sure. I'm afraid that the goddess's judgment are somewhat harder to overturn than you might imagine. So the committee means for the verdict from 18 years ago to stand no matter what?
The perfect... Bad luck, Mr. Prosecutor. I'm going to... There must be something we can do. Something to bring Gusto down.
I'm gonna kick your asses.
Objection!
No! Damn it! Yes, it does! Yes, it does! Fuck you! Yes, the fuck I can, bitch! I need him to talk about how long he was in Zhengfa. Passage of time doesn't diminish what you did, Mr. Gusto. It sure diminishes one thing, though. Your ability to arrest me. Oh, we can arrest you! We can arrest you real good! I can have you in custody before you're employed, pal! Right, Mr. Edgeworth? Since you wasn't as open and shut as you're making it out to be, Detective. You can't touch me. It's too late for that.
Hold it!
Depending on your actions over the last 18 years, the statute may not have expired yet. That's all to be good. Alright, I got nothing to hide. If there's something you want to ask it. Yes, here we go. Tell us where you've been and what you've been doing since the incident. Sure. Not long after the contest, I was able to cure my taste disorder thanks to the formula from the book. And not long after that, I went to Zhengfa to really buckle down and hone my craft. That explains a lot. Tried to contact you after the fact, but I guess you were long gone by then, huh? Could be. I left, let's see, around a year after the murder. That was before Tangaroa's last day in court. Going to Zhengfa was the best thing I ever did. Flavor, design, I'm the full package now. That's a nice wolf. I'll admit, you're making good shit. But also, fuck you. All on the back of those whose lives you destroyed. What's an omelet without a few eggs, huh? Nothing, Mr. Prosecutor, nothing. You're evil. Sticks and stones, Gary. You can't arrest me, and that's all that matters. I need more to work with. There has to be something I can get out of him. Maybe I can push him further on the statements he just made. This one. I'd like you to tell us more about your training in Zhengfa, if you wouldn't mind. Fine. I later went to Zhengfa to train, and I finally became the best in the world. How long? Zhengfa, and you were there for a while, I imagine. Yeah, I left some time after the investigation had wrapped up. I've been meaning to go there and start my studies for a while. Thanks to the hard work I put in. Ooh, nice dragon. My designs are now world class. How did you do that? Whoa, it's amazing. You like it? It's yours. Really? Alright. So we spent some time in Zhengfa training. Okay, here we go. It just wants me to do it on this. Done. Get arrested, motherfucker. Go to jail. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. A statute of limitation for murder subject to the following condition. The statute is suspended should the suspect flee to a foreign country, which means that the time you spent abroad doesn't count toward the total time under the statute. No way! So it's like someone hit pause while he was in Zhengfa? It appears that there may be time left on the clock yet, but that will depend on how long you stayed in Zhengfa, Mr. Gusto. It was 3 years exactly. 3 years. Hold on, nobody say anything until I've done the math. Murder happened 18 years back. Statute is 15 years. And the 3 overseas. 15 plus 3 makes exactly 18, which means no way! Mr. Edgeworth, you did it! The statute hasn't expired after all. See, here's the thing. I 100% would have asked him how long he was in Zhengfa before telling him about that condition. Hey, 10 years exactly. Glad you worked it out for yourself. Why is he laughing? We're good, aren't we? We can arrest him now. I hate to break it to you, little sis, but IS-7 went down at the end of December. It's April now, which means, strictly speaking, it's been 18 years and 4 months since Frost's murder. If Gusto's stay in Zhengfa really lasted 3 years on the nose, it's not enough. We're a few months short. Not enough, but... What did I tell you? You can't touch me! I hate to admit it, but he'd read the board well when he made his confession. Damn it, we're missing something! How unfortunate, Mr. Edgeworth.
only the statute had been suspended for another year. Those who would overturn the goddess's judgment must be willing to pay the price should they fail.
We've already proven I hate you.
An appeals is a very normal thing. It's a very normal thing that I hate. And you, Mr. Edgeworth, have failed. There must be something I can do. I knew it. Well, if the law can't bring Mr. Gusto to justice, then... Jude, what are you thinking?
Objection!
There's no need to go add into your rap sheet just yet. We're not done here. Far from it, because there's still a way we can nail him. There is? Alright, Mazzarino, pep talk. You should think back over everything we know about the case. Gusto's overlooked one critical thing that you yourself were led to believe wrongly about. Which is, he wasn't there for Samson's last trial, remember? Best I can tell, he doesn't seem to know what the final verdict that came down with.
That's right! There's another stipulation! There is another year! The statute is suspended from the time of any accomplice's indictment to the end of their trial. That's right, because he was only indicted as an accomplice. That entire year he spent in prison didn't count for the statute. It's only been 14 years! Which means that there's still one way left to us. Crack open your statute for dummies there and take another look. 17 years ago, they really did a number on Samson and framed him like a pretty picture. But if we make use of that verdict now, we can make Gusto pay in full for what he's done. Fender, are you... Those who would overturn the goddess's judgment must be willing to pay the price should they fail. Samson my client, Miles, and I can't bring myself to use the source of his pain as a weapon in this fight. So whether we play our last card or not, it's gonna have to be up to you. I'm gonna use it.
Bringing Mr. Gusto to justice can only happen if I use the outcome of that hard-fought trial. Should I raise an objection and play that card?
Yeah, I'm gonna do it. We don't have a choice. Or, mentally...
My father, Mr. Von Karma, once sought to reveal the truth and then to hide it. I know which path I choose to follow. The one that seeks to reveal the truth. This court has reached its final verdict. The record will state that Mr. Gusto has been found not guilty on our court. Still not a legal court. No, Your Honor. Mr. Carmelo Gusto is absolutely guilty, and I refuse to let him walk away. His crimes are too unspeakable to go unpunished. Do you mean to suggest that you have grounds upon which to call for his arrest? I do. Now to show Judge Cavell something that proves the statute of limits. Again, to show the exact same book we just pulled out. Consider this piece of evidence, if you will. Court rules the evidence. Wait, oh, fuck you. What do you mean that's not the one that you... Fuck you! What do you mean that was wrong? And with a verdict that couldn't have been more wrong, a very verdict may be what finally sees Mr. Gusto arrested. What's it? Yeah, I know. Convicted as an accomplice. Yep, there it is. I knew that was my second go, too. Very well. Is there a particular page that you would like us to refer to? I'd like to direct your attention to the page concerning the suspect. Yep, there it is. As you can see, Samson Hongoro was convicted as an accomplice, and it took around 1 year from his indictment for the verdict to be reached. Yes, that does seem to be the case. The book you gave us details certain conditions pertaining to the statute of limitations for murder. One of them, as I mentioned, is that the statute is suspended if the suspect flees the country. And another states that the statute is suspended from the time of any accomplice's indictment to the end of the trial. What? Tongaro was convicted as an accomplice? Yep. Guess you were in Zhangfa when the verdict came down. Samson was convicted as an accomplice, not as the main perpetrator, which is clearly news to you, and not good news either, am I right? But how can that be? The Tongaro was an accomplice to anyone. He was innocent, and you know it. Oh, we know it. That's what we've been trying to prove all along. And in a pleasing twist of fate, his wrongful conviction will be the very thing that sets him free. If you spent 3 years in Zhangfa, and your accomplice Samson Tangaroa was on trial for 1 year,
it means you can still be charged with Mr. Frost's murder up to 19 years after the fact. In other words, the statute of limitations hasn't expired at all. The goddess's judgment is infallible, but that of her servants, it appears, is not. And it seems the prosecutor in charge of this case may have erred. Unbelievably, we may have no choice but to instigate a full inquiry. Honestly, okay, I'm gonna be 100% fucking real with you. The moment Manfred Von Karma got arrested at the end of the first Ace Attorney game, y'all motherfucker should have looked at every single fucking case he ever worked on. Like, legitimately. Like, obviously you're not going to, because that'd be admitting that you were wrong, but seriously.
Objection!
18 years. It's a long time to let somebody else suffer for your crimes. It's time to pay the piper, Gusto, and not a moment too soon. Hurrah! But I'm finally the greatest! My brilliance has been recognized! I give up everything for this! Everything! Even my son!
More's the pity. But you can't run from the law forever, because the bills come due at last. Over here doing some Dragon Ball sound effects. Here's the thing. Mr. Gusto's all set for his trip downtown, sir. Good. Which means it's your turn next. I suppose so. Dudes, I'm so sorry, everybody. I've caused you all so much trouble, but thank you. Thank you so much for bringing Mr. Gusto to justice at last. I'm afraid there's no escaping the consequences of your actions, Miss Bound. Those actions were born of the legal mistakes that were made all those years ago. We all know that. So allow me to apologize in return, on behalf of the prosecution. Oh, no, I have no one to blame but myself for it all. It's done with those sculptures. Hey, Judes, you think maybe you might want me to represent you? I'm not some nervous newbie anymore, and there's no way I'm letting you take the rap for everything. Oh, I'd be honored. Thank you, Mr. Fender. Your tears look like cream puffs. Not even remotely shocking. Sorry, ma'am, but you gotta come with me now. Of course. You know what I really need to start doing? I need to start napping before stream. Because now I feel fine. Judge Gavel, why did you lie to us? Lie? What are you talking about? You implied that there was no case for a retrial, but as we've proven, that wasn't true. Surely anyone truly committed to seeing justice done would have called one as soon as the body was found. I am under no obligation to answer such questions, and you clearly have no intention of doing so either. Truly, you are proving to be quite a threat to the Committee for Prosecutorial Excellence. As such, you give me little choice but to report back on your continued transgressions. No doubt you'll be called to appear before the committee in due course. Oh please, as if I've done anything actually wrong. You're just upset at me because I keep exposing the flaws in your legal system. Now I must be on my way. What the heck? And after you caught the real killer and everything. Isn't that what prosecutors are supposed to do? Regardless of how it all may play out, I will never regret what we accomplished here today. Mr. Edgeworth. Hey! Mr. Edgeworth! Yes? Why did you stick your nose in this case anyway? You weren't even on the job! My job was to bring the truth to light, Mr. Winner. Not only as a prosecutor, but as a person. I don't get it. I wouldn't expect you to understand. Not as long as you believe that closing a case makes you a winner. That's going way over my head. I'm going home. What was that all about? Your sister has a lot to learn, is all.
Mousy Wowsy.
Yes?
I just wanted to say old Greggy Pegleg would have been proud of you today. Oh, look at me tearing up. That and thanks for helping poor Sam Poople.
Of course.
Hey, Edgy! Looks like you cleared everything up, huh? So, what happened exactly? I was kind of busy sketching. Wait, where did Judy and Verity go?
Wow, you really weren't paying attention, were you? Though I am loath to admit it, Larry's sketches did come through for us on more than one occasion. Not that I'm about to tell him that.
Quit it with the glaring, will you? Whatever I did, I'm sorry.
Calm down, Larry. I wasn't glaring at you. You totally were. You're just like your pop. He was a terrible liar, too. He was. Listen, I'm gonna head out. Need to fill Samson know why I went down today. You wanna come with? Yes, of course.
Great, then I'm coming too. April 2nd, 4:56 p.m. Detention Center, Visitor's Room.
So, what's Mr. Tongaroa like? Can't wait to finally meet him. Oh, he's a real sweetheart. You'll love him. And while locked up, he can't help but make all sorts of cookies and cakes for everyone. That's why 3 p.m. cake extravaganza is a thing for prisoners and guards alike.
Really? That sounds awesome. Where was that when we were in the prison last episode? I missed that. You think there'll be any left for us to try?
Didn't we find a few slices of chocolate cake in the prison the other day?
Oh, that's right!
Could they have been some of Mr. Tongaroa's baked goods?
Oh, right. We did find that. I forgot about that. Cummy, what are you doing here? I heard you all were coming to see Mr. Tongaroa, so I volunteered to escort him.
Hello, new friends. I'm Samson Tongaroa. I don't remember what voice I was. Prosecutor Miles Edgeworth at your service.
And I'm Mistress Edgeworth's trusty sidekick Kay Faraday.
It's very nice to meet you both. Miles here is Gregory's son. Is that so? My father was very kind to me and fought so hard for my case. But in the end, I betrayed him. I made a false confession and... Don't worry, Mr. Tongaroa. Mr. Fender has explained everything to me. Sure did. And now we're here to tell you the truth about what happened 18 years ago. The truth? This, that, the other happened and it was gusto. Trudy did all that. For me. Crazy kid racked her brain for 18 years until she'd finally figured out how to set you free. What can I say? Turns out she really would do anything for you. Her Judy. I never did anything to deserve such devotion. Come now, Mr. Tongaroa. I think we all know that's not true. The bond between the two of you has held strong for all these years, after all. You're practically her father. You think so? I guess I'd better show him. Which piece of evidence is proof of the bond Mr. Tongaroa and Miss Bound share?
The chocolates that she still makes?
Take that!
These chocolates. Judy made them, didn't she? Yes, she did.
They're super delicious and sweet.
Miss Bound continued making them just as you taught her, even after that fateful day, so that there would always be some waiting for you when you finally came home. Judy.
Aww.
I bet they're beyond super sweet then, aren't they? Very much so, I'm afraid. Only wish we could hand them to you.
Don't worry, sir. I'll make sure he gets them later.
Which would be a clear breach of prison policy. Not that I have the authority to stop him anyway. Thank you very much. You know, Detective, something about you reminds me of Detective Bad.
Really, pal? Because I looked up to him a lot. He's my role model.
You don't say. Seems fate likes to bring people of all sorts together, You hang in there, Samson. Just a little longer. Should be able to get you out soon. I'm sorry it's taken so long. Nobody should have to wait 18 years to get justice. Oh, don't be silly, Eddie. I'm the one who should be saying sorry. Or rather... Thank you. Truly. Samson. Well, I guess it's my turn to wait for Judy to come home now. I'd better make sure there's something delicious on the table for her when she finally walks through that door. Don't let me down, Eddie. Leave it to me, big guy. The IS-7 incident. It's been 18 long years, but the case we'd inherited by my father is finally coming to a close. And we're finally done with the third case in this game. There's still 2 more.
Hey, Miles, thanks for today. And sorry for forcing you to make the final call like that.
Not at all. I suddenly made the call that felt right to me.
Huh? What are you guys talking about? You know how Samson was wrongfully convicted? We had to pretend that he wasn't in order to nail Gusto. But to use his false conviction against him, even to save him, as his lawyer, I just couldn't bring myself to do it.
Yeah, I can see that. Game long. They sure do drag it out. It's like, haha, we pinned you down as the murderer 3 hours ago. It's like, but what about this? It's like, okay, well here, now we've pinned you down again. It didn't need to take an hour. What about this? Okay, it didn't need to take another hour for me to pin it back on you. How about this? Oh my god.
I can finally start to get that wrongful conviction overturned.
Yes, and I'm sure you will. Wait a minute, does this mean that even if you were only doing what's right, if the false conviction had been overturned before today, Mr. Gusto would have gotten away scot-free?
Yep. It's what we folks in the trade like to call a legal contradiction. The law is far from perfect.
Because of things like legal contradictions, right?
Yep. But you never know. Things might change. The law's always evolving, just like us humans. Your Uncle Eddie and Miles Reno included, am I right?
The potential for growth and change. In people and the law, huh?
So, Miles, are you going to keep fighting crime as a prosecutor, or help people as an attorney? Some tells me you've got a big decision ahead of you, one only you can answer.
I know.
Well, not to say I won't complain if you show up at the office one day.
Let me put it this way, I will...
And on that note, it's time for me to skedaddle.
I have a feeling the next 2 episodes something crazy is gonna happen, and it's why he's gonna find, like, there's gonna be a moment where he's so fucking close to fully being a defense attorney, but he decides, no, I'm going to be the chief prosecutor so I can change and fix things, and then the dark age of the law happened.
I always repay my debts, but for now, thanks again for today. I mean it.
Did he seem kind of in a hurry to get out of here to you?
He did, and honestly speaking, I'm the one who owes him a debt of gratitude. After all, he gave me the chance to reckon with my father's final case. When I was a boy, all I ever dreamed of was becoming an attorney like my father. But then, during my time with Mr. Von Karma, I learned the way of the prosecutor instead. Eventually, with the help of some good friends, I found my own voice and a new way to live.
Good friends and a hunk in a blue suit.
But now my career as a prosecutor is at risk of being taken away from me. It'd be time to take another long, hard look at how I want to live my life, whether I like it or not.
Literally, we spent this entire 2 sets of games being a defense attorney, basically. Edgeworth and Co.
Hey, Gregory. Sorry for reporting in so late. It may have taken 18 years, but we're finally in a position to prove Samson's innocence. All thanks to your boy, Miles. Couldn't have done it without him. Oh, you should have seen him. The way he fought for the truth gave me chills. It was like I was watching you. Look, I know I'm not half the attorney you were. Those guiding principles you tried to instill in me, I like to think I'm embodying them now as I carry on your legacy. Here's hoping. Your boy will be joining me in that soon.
Oh, it's basically the exact same fucking pose. Oh, I love it.
Am I going to fight crime as a prosecutor, or help people as an attorney? What is the right answer? Which path should I choose?
Joke's on you, there is no such thing as a right answer. The end. Oh my god. We finally did it. This episode's finished. Someone please tell me episode 4 is shorter. And then episode 5, I have absolutely no delusions about the fact that it's going to be long as all hell. But it's a small time early. Oh no. Oh no, Lady DeVore, what do you mean? What do you mean? Ha 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 ha! Don't ha 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 ha! That scares me!
I'm afraid. I hold nothing but fear. Fear in my heart. Me, recently, it's like, oh, you know, I'm planning for what I'm doing after I finish Miles Edgeworth. Miles Edgeworth beats me over the head with a frying pan for the next 3 months. But that is all for today. Thank you all so much for joining me. We're getting there. We're getting there. I promise, we're getting there. Reminder, Saturday, Digimon. Sunday, I don't know if we're finishing Sly 4, but we're pretty damn close. We're really damn close to finishing Sly 4, so we should be doing that soon. Anything else? Is there anything else? I don't know if I'm forgetting anything else. Hang out in Discord just to chat about stream stuff and other things. I don't know. Well, let's do a raid. Alright, we're gonna raid out. Y'all enjoy. Have a great rest of your night. And I'll see you all in a couple days. Bye, y'all. I'm gonna go get some food. Isn't that right, Biscuit? Night, y'all.